make it? I did. I mean, based on the delay of the internet, I might have missed it by a few seconds, but I'm going to say I made it. So indeed, welcome back, everybody. I think I've done the things. I feel like I'm prepared, and I'll find out soon enough what I forgot to do. That burrito and overconsumption of water is settling down. Get a little air moving. Where's the Mrs. Car and the Lazy Susan? The wife's car has not been, there's a growing number of rigs that haven't ridden the turntable yet. Chuck Hurley coming out the box with the 5, dropping the 5. Have a great one as well, Andre. We're going to do all of the usual things. I mean, many of you will have an inkling. If you were here last, you will remember what we're doing today, or going to try to do today. We're going to get to a certain distance today. That is the goal. Because we can only go so far. Yeah, I think I got that. I think I did that. Yeah, I think I'm on step. We're on page, yes, page 27, step 33. We're moving right along, presumably. Am I lagging, or are we dropping frames? No, we're dropping frames. We dropped a couple. No, we didn't really drop that many. Hey, another free one. 5 free one. Andre just dropping in real quick to just drop a free 5. Just hitting 5. Pizza and Nitro. I feel like I've seen that name before. Eh? Okay, good. Yeah, the noise cancellation on the mic is great. It's 80 degrees in Silicon Valley. It's under brown haze. But that's the thermometer that they use that I like to say is in the basement of the public library, because outside right now it's like 97, 98 degrees, and it's just hot for 3 days. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and then it goes cooling right back down again. So we got the Swampy on. I had to have the Swampy on, 3-4 live streams ago? We got it on again. Keep it nice in here. Keep it contained. Jay Lobus with 10. Oh, the Sawtooth. The Sawtooth lives. Meat Blossom. Dropping the 10. Let me know when the house next to you sells. I will buy it. I don't. Okay, so
California is an expensive place to live.
On the one side of me, they've lived on that property for over 60 years. On the other side of me, Old Kentucky Shark was there at least as long. The one that butts up to the canyon, the one that never cuts their weeds, they're renters. That house sold. The people that lived there before were there since at least the 80s, like early 80s, and then they both passed away, so it got sold to some, investment company that buys private residences and rents them out. So it's had renters in it for the last 5 or 6 years, I want to say. A couple different renters. 10 more! The Sawtooth is alive and well. I just keep looking to see if anybody catches Sneaky Ed. California Shine with another one. Patrick just got another one. He's been a member for like 6+ months because he keeps getting free memberships. I don't know if he's ever seen, hey, Eric Rombo, there's a name I recognize. Got a free one. I keep remembering questions Wednesday and forgetting them again by Friday. I feel that. Like, I feel that inside. The sawtooth has a big tooth coming. Yes, it does. That's like over 30 today. He's got the noisiest neighbors. If it's not chainsaws, it's miter chop saws or all sorts of various power equipment. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And when I'm not filming, if I'm out back just doing coursework, just quiet. No sound. As soon as I carry a camera out there, it's like they know. All right, let me see. I hadn't actually looked to see what the memberships look like. I don't even remember if I can check on mobile. I don't know where to look for it on mobile. Analytics. Viewers, device type, age, gender, geography. Nope. What do the neighbors think of the canyon? Because of where I'm located, because of where it is located, whiteboard. Oh, so here's a fun one for you. Did the guy who say you're omnipotent subscribe? I don't think so. What visitor trucks are having birthdays soon? Ooh. There's a couple. There's a couple that have been here more than a year. They're into their second year. We went around and did an informal poll because it occurred to us, looking fleet-wide, I was like, do we not have any black vehicles? So we went around and did the count up, and there is one pink vehicle because my brain gets it all confused and conflated. Like, I can remember painting them, and then I look around and they're not here, and then I remember that I gave them away. So, one pink vehicle. I felt like there was a lot more gray ones. There's two. They're right there. Pennaby and Baseline are both gray, light gray and like a medium gray. I didn't paint either of those. They came gray. I thought there was a lot of silver. 7. We have 7 silver ones. I thought there was a lot of tan ones. There's 2. Sandy and Rusty are the 2 tan ones. 2 orange ones with an asterisk next to it. That would be the Economoo and Misdirection. So Misdirection is the only one that's actually painted orange. So we have 1 orange vehicle, 1 pink vehicle, which is Zorana. We've got 2 black ones, if you want to say Toothless is black. I think Toothless is really just very dark gray, but I don't think he's actually black. We do have one that counts as black, which I painted less than 24 hours ago and nobody has seen it. I thought there was no white vehicles in the whole fleet, and then I remembered the mullet because I was not going to put a lot of work into painting that stance body. So we have 1 white vehicle in the whole fleet, which is the Muzzard. It's the only white one. And then 5 red ones, which is crazy for a guy who doesn't paint things red, that we have 5 red ones. The vehicles that are off the chain and what I am disallowing myself from choosing as color for the immediate future is blue and green, because there are 10 of each. There's 10 blue rigs and 10 green rigs, which is, I guess blue-green is the Canyon favor, and like green is kind of the Canyon color. So we've got to lean in. There's definitely openings in white, orange, pink, gray, tan. There's even yellow. We have 3 yellows. There's a lot of no purple. There used to be. I've painted every vehicle that I've painted
Technically,
purple.
GFO is purple.
Oh yeah, GFO. I did do a section called two-tone because we have a bunch of rigs like Lolo, Gary Musey, where they are distinctly two colors. Like they are two-tone. The GFO is purple and gray. Well, he's pebble and plum were the two colors. So we do have one that's kind of purple, but Wiley was purple and he's gone. I painted the legs, which was that 33 coupe. That was purple and gunmetal, and that one's gone. We've given away a couple green ones. Blackjack was olive drab, was green. Middle school desk was red. Raucous was pink. Isn't zombie black also? No. Nobody likes orange. Zombie is nearby. Zombie is like rust colored. Like I want to say that he's Krylon dark metallic bronze. So in the metallics, like you can see, that's a black wheel, and he's not black. I think he's backed. Well, yeah, backed with black. You can tell that's not black. So he's like rust color. Yeah, I would say Tapas would be in the orange family. Tapas would be in the same color family with Ratchet, who I think I put down as two-tone because he's two distinct colors. And then we kind of got confused as to like, what do we call Ironsides? Because he's gunmetal. Is gunmetal silver or is gunmetal gray? I mean, gunmetal's metallic gray. So I don't remember what, I think we put him in as silver. I think we just called gunmetal silver because Lil Fella and Ironsides are the same color. But again, I didn't paint either of those. That's the color that they were. So in terms of, that's a category we didn't break down, was little stars next to which ones I painted and which ones I didn't. Because I didn't paint Ruby, came that way. I didn't paint Dana, only Zul. It came flesh colored. All right. So let me see if I can draw a terrible map. I'm concentrating real hard. Okay. So. All right. Hopefully this doesn't blow out the color. No. We look good. Okay. So the star is where my house is. Okay. So these are all single acres. So there's basically 10 acres, right? And these were laid out in like the 1920s, give or take. So you'll notice it's all plots that are the same size. We have 4 running this way and 6 running this way. This is me. This is my in-laws. This is the senor. This is Keith. This is Eddie's house. I don't know who lives over in this one. This guy used to be a sheriff. I don't know if he is anymore. This is the house that we always used to call the drug house because it was like immaculately kept and had a mini golf course outside. And we were like, we'd never seen a person go in or out of it. This is the rental house. And this is the house that I would say Old Kentucky Shark. That's what I used to call him. He was this old guy that when we first moved in here like 18 years ago, he seemed like he was already about 100 years old. And when he talked real slow, and he had that real drawl that I can't accurately do. So I called him Old Kentucky Shark because every day he was out there working. He was working on something. So the canyon is about that big. So here's where the rocks are. That's where the canyon is. So the only way you can see the canyon at all is from here through the street. By looking through their yard, you can see the little bits of rocks. Or, I mean, if you're in Eddie's yard, here's all the containers right here. The containers are all here. So you can't see. This is a street as well. You can't see from that street. So you can really only see it from right over through here. From the front of the street, you can't see any of the canyon at all. You can't even tell what's back there. Because as I said, our property is about 100 feet wide. It's actually 110 feet wide, and it's about 300 feet long. So it can't be divided. Yeah, Google Earth. I mean, you can definitely see it on Google Earth. So all of these houses, like Keith that lives here, he's lived there since my wife and her sisters were all born. So he's lived there for like 50 years. Eddie moved there in the early 90s, I want to say. So he's like one of the newer guys. Like this house that's straight across from me, across the street over here, I watched them bring their kid home in the little car carrier. And those houses were built in like 89 or 90. And then I watched their kid bring their kid home in the little car carrier. The same with the sheriff guy that lives on the corner. I got to see 3 generations come home to that house. So when all of the subdivisions came in, if you've ever looked the place up on Google Earth, you notice that there's these big plots filled with trees and dirt and dumpsters and all of the things and wrecked up cars and a lot of weeds. That 10-acre section, we just didn't sell for whatever reason when all the subdivisions came in, because everything else is 6 to an acre, and now they're building the new stuff, the townhomes, which are 9 to an acre. So we have 1 to an acre. There's 10 houses on 10 acres, and you know all of those developers wish that they would have all sold this. You bought the house next to the house your wife grew up in? Yeah, my wife has lived her entire life on one street. And I grew up
in 3 different houses on the same property.
Yeah, she has lived in 3 different houses within a 200-foot radius. And I grew up 6 miles away. So we are definitely homebodies all the way. And the house that's the rental, so this one, the one that you can see the canyon from, they had moved a container in, and there was plans that they were going to make a little subdivision out of it and put 6 houses on it. They were talking about that for years now, and they probably got met with the financial realities of what it would cost to build 6 houses and hook up 6 utilities and all that, because it's still just a rental sitting there. And we never even see the people come out of the rental. We used to see them in the yard every once in a while, and now they just don't. They are hermits. You do not see those people outside. So I'm going to spin this so I can move it. That's how you know we've officially started. That wasn't a very good spin. That didn't. Well, that was all right. That was a moderate spin. Yeah, it is indeed a small world. It is truly a small world. Yeah, you drive down your street and it's 1960 on one side and 1990 on the other. That's absolutely correct. Yeah. And when my wife grew up through the 70s and the 80s, across the street that way, so to my east, it was just orange groves as far as the eye could see. One of the coolest pictures I saw, but sadly it predated cell phones with cameras in them, was in the Hall of Records. A buddy of ours, his mom worked in the Hall of Records and had found a picture of my street from the early 1900s. So say about 1915. So the house I live in now hadn't been built yet. Our house was built in 1925. It's 100 years old this year. But the house that we lived in before this one was right here. So we lived right there from 92 to 2007. So we lived there for 15 years. That house was built in 1896. you could see that house and then a dirt strip that went up to a street called Baseline Road, which was also a dirt strip. And then there was a wagon path that went up the face of what's called Baseline Hill. And it was one of the only structures visible at all was the house that we lived in for 15 years.
Cool.
And then, because that house is 130 years old now and ours is 100. Which, by California standards, is very old. Did I build the yoga block holder? Yes. If you search on the channel for a video called Susan, you will find out how I built Susan. Susan is built out of part of an old speaker box and a yoga block, and I didn't even buy a lazy Susan mechanism. I routed 1/4-inch grooves and filled them with 1/4-inch ball bearings. RC Zilla has lived in 12 different states and 2 different counties. I have lived in 1 state and 1 county, but it is San Bernardino County, so I could move 100 miles away and still be in the same county. I wonder if YouTube would ever make membership transparent to viewers. No, I doubt it. I remember San Bernardino being a small town with a big airport. Yeah. My grandparents, the only reason I'm here, the only reason any of us is here is when it was Norton Air Force Base. My grandparents moved here in 1948. And the only reason that I happened at all is my grandparents, my father's parents, moved here because my grandfather worked for General Telephone and Telegraph. They moved here in 48 from Chicago because they were expanding the Western Division of the phone company. And they moved out for that. And my mother's parents, my grandfather was a civil engineer in the United States Air Force. And he became the base civil engineer at Norton Air Force Base, and he held that position for some over 30 years. So that was how they met. Because my grandmother, my mother was born on an Air Force base outside Paris, France. So she's actually born outside the country. And my father was born in the exact same hospital that I was, St. Bernardine's, which is the same place Shaker MT was born. So if you want to talk about small world, and MKRC, the 3D print guy, is from San Bernardino as well, or at least spent time here, which is what he mentioned in the last live stream. It is a crazily small world. San Bernardino has the best rave scene in California. Orange Show Fairgrounds, baby. It's about one every other month. And if you've been a long time resident here, you know that there's a place called Richie Canyon, or as we call it, Wretched Canyon. And where the raves happen at the Orange Show, the National Orange Show Fairgrounds, right in the heart of the decaying heart of San Bernardino. If you go straight up, if you draw a straight line, there's a street that runs in front of the National Orange Show Center called E Street. And if you follow the imaginary line of E Street up, it goes up Richie Canyon. So when the raves are going like this, they go like, oh, boom, 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 boom. That sound goes right up like a funnel. And up in Richie Canyon, it's every bit as loud as it is at the Orange Show Fairgrounds. And they're like, the city needs to do something about this. And I'm like, look, it's the only place they make any money. San Bernardino is alive today because of the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians, the Yamava tribe, and the raves that take place at the National Orange Show Fairgrounds. That's all we got. Well, I mean, we've got Cal State San Bernardino, CSUSB, we've got San Bernardino Valley College, but other than that, like, those don't make money for the city or the state. The city went bankrupt, it has to be 20 years ago now, and you can really tell. You drive down in downtown San Bernardino, it's not like you're afraid somebody's going to shoot through the window and kill you. It's not that bad. But I do feel like a big part of it is I've gotten used to it. Like, I'm just accustomed to San Bernardino, right? San Bernardino faux life. Glen Helen, yeah, but Glen Helen is under private ownership now, from what I understand. And Glen Helen has never been wildly successful because I swear the amphitheater at Glen Helen has changed hands like 8 times. It has a different name every couple of years. Like they sell off the naming rights to whoever's willing to buy it. And Dead Meat grew up in Victorville, good old Victimville. So growing up in Victimville and being up there through 2014, you know well the bleakness that is downtown, and you got to see the change too, because I lived in Forest Falls to begin. I moved in with my grandmother in downtown, well, heart of suburbia San Bernardino, Sterling and Highland, in 1983, 84. So I remember distinctly San Bernardino in 1983, 84. And I don't want to sound too Andy Griffith Mayberry, but we would ride our bikes over to the pizza parlor. Just lay your bike down on the sidewalk outside the pizza place. Go inside, play Spy Hunter and Street Fighter and arcade games, put your quarters up. We would play those games for hours. Go outside, get on your bike, go to the Thrifty next door, buy a 15-cent ice cream cone, and ride home one-handed eating your 15-cent ice cream cone. And we never thought different about it. Now, if you left a bike leaning against a wall long enough to blink, that would be gone. That would be long gone. So I got to watch it just... And boy, did it happen. Castle Park Riverside's still there. What Fiesta Village, baby! Fiesta Village is still there against all odds. I still can't believe it. Nestled right there up against the 91 freeway. Castle Park is still there. Scandy is gone. So many of them are gone. When the measure that I tend to go by is bowling alleys, man. San Bernardino was full of bowling alleys. San Bernardino now has one. Bolero came in and bought Arrowhead Lanes, and that's the only bowling alley left in San Bernardino.
Well, Redlands is close enough.
Redlands Bowl kind of counts. You know what the next closest one is?
Rancho Cucamonga?
Riverside Bowl, which is also a Bolero, off the 91, almost into Corona. It's wide. It's the same thing with hobby shops.
Yeah, we got to drive to Corona, 45 miles.
We're making Mr. Spain feel sad about his youth. Your youth was yesterday. Your youth is still fresh. My youth, the youth of the gentleman from that grew up in Victimville, our youths are far in the distant past. We have clouded recollections of them that we're not even sure are accurate anymore. You can't ride a bike in Madrid unless you want to get smacked by a car. Mr. Simpson, I looked up Bolero on the Googles because I was curious. Bolero basically bought everything. Bolero bought AMF, and AMF was Brunswick, which was bowling. That was bowling. And bowling died. It really did. Because people don't want to go out and participate in activities. It boggles my mind that people will go to who's espresso? Sabrina Carpenter. People will go to a Sabrina Carpenter show and pay $400 for a ticket to watch Sabrina Carpenter be auto-tuned live.
400 plus.
But bowling alleys are all gone because it might cost you $20, $25 a person to go bowling for an evening. You know what it is?
I remember when you could use to rent a lane for $10 an hour.
Oh my God, let me tell you. I would go to my house was Del Rosa Bowl, Highland Avenue, San Bernardino. I would ride down there on my bike because I had a locker that I kept my bowling ball in. I would ride down there on Sunday morning, rent a lane, 2 hours for $5. And I would bowl until my right arm felt like it was going to disconnect itself from my body. And I never got any better. because it was a thing that transpired long before the glass tile backsplash, where I learned true Zen. Well, I came to a conclusion about bowling that I got to a point in bowling where I knew to get any better, I was going to have to devote more time and work and effort and concentration. And I averaged a 177 average. My very first league that I bowled in was in junior high. And I established a league average in junior high of 166. And I never had a league average higher than 177. I bowled 3 games in Laughlin about 6 months ago or so, 7 months ago, having not rolled a ball in over a year. I took my ball, I took my ceramic Cuda C, which I've had for 25 years. I took it down. I had a 204. My middle game was a 204. It is truly like riding a bicycle. My average for the 3 games in Laughlin was 174.8. I'm the same guy forever, baby. Could I average higher? Yes. Do I want to put in the work to average higher? Absolutely not.
You have to slow down your ball speed.
Slow down my ball speed. Readjust every way I approach the game.
Get a new ball.
What's a hobby store? I buy everything on the internet. If you ever make your way to the canyon and you have more than an hour to be here, my wife says that I need to build an Airbnb in the yard so that people can come and stay here. And I'm like, oh, absolutely. Now that you've put the idea in my head, I'm going to figure out how to do this sometime in the next 10 years. I live, what would you say it is to Pegasus? 30 minutes? 35 minutes?
30, 40 minutes.
30 to 40 minutes to Pegasus. If you only ever go to one hobby store in your whole life, you should go to Pegasus. It's not quite what it used to be. We here, because we're old, me and the blind guy, we remember the location before the one they were in now. We remember the location before that one. And each relocation, has not really improved it in any meaningful way.
When they moved in the 24-hour fitness, they got their own track.
They had their own track.
It was a smaller building.
It was a smaller building, but...
Again, they had a track they could put on events and, you know...
But, if there's proof positive that we operate in a hobby that is fickle, absolutely fickle. We used to go to OCRC, which last I checked is still open. We used to go to SoCal RC in Santa Ana. That's gone. We went to LARC. That's gone. We went to M&M Raceway, which is right off the 91. That used to be the race. That used to be the house for Kinwald and those guys. That's gone. The one up here, Thunder Alley, still exists. The Dirt in Paris still exists. There used to be a big 5th scale track up by Cal State San Bernardino. That's gone. They're all gone. They're all gone. It is the way of the world.
Even Busy Bee went under.
Busy Bee went under. Busy Bee was my hobby shop for up till that point. Busy Bee was my hobby shop my whole life.
Well, it was the only hobby shop around.
It was the only hobby shop in town. Revelations is still around, yeah. Robert L. lives 20 minutes from the A-Main East Coast warehouse. So that means it only takes 5 days to get your orders from A-Main, right? Is that right? Am I guessing that's correct?
Well, I imagine you can go down there and pick them up.
Amazon is doing pickup now. Did you ever think that they would allow that? Some Amazon fulfillment houses, you can go direct to the warehouse and pick it up, like will call.
With returns too. Sell that in returns.
I'm flexing my hand strength over here while I use a driver insert to insert these screws. Literally next day. I mean, that's not fair, for one thing, because it takes 5 days minimum to get it from Chico, and that is 500 miles away. So it travels at 100 miles a day. And you put me on a bike right now, I will be very angry and uncomfortable, but I could ride 500 miles in 5 days. I wouldn't like it, but I could do it. 45 minutes from Amy and Chico, in-store stock kind of sucks. We got to witness, and I'm so glad of it, we got to see the actual, factual, proper heyday of Pegasus Hobbies.
Back when they had any part you could ever want.
You could walk in to Pegasus Hobby with anything. Pick a part, put it in your hand, walk in there and go, I need one of these. And they had 4x8 pegboards on these rollers. So there were just like 6 or 7 deep. And the guy would be all, wah, 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 wah. Boom, part in your hand, whatever you needed. It was truly amazing. And now,
like every other hobby
you
store.
go, it's like every other hobby store. You go in there with a list, they don't have any of it. They don't have any of it. So you end up going on the internet. Amazon Prime, would you like to pick your items up today or deliver tomorrow? You know who is, okay, you know who's great in terms of store pickup? And I think it's what's keeping them alive in this era? Best Buy. I never would have thought Best Buy would have kept going. But it's where I got my GoPro.
Well,
You know why? It was cheaper at Best Buy than it was on Amazon. And I did it for store pickup, and I placed my order, and I got the email saying it was ready for pickup in like 10 minutes.
we did that in Moreno Valley and someone else bought it.
Yeah, well, not every Best Buy is perfect. Well, no, they do it completely different now. All of the store pickup stuff, they put it in a corral in the back.
Okay.
That's where I bought my PlayStation, too. Not my PlayStation 2, my PlayStation as well. That's where I bought my PlayStation 5. Because we have, I would like to say that we have the cycling industry to thank for that. Because the cycling industry was the one that introduced MAP, minimum advertised price. Because minimum advertised price, I don't have anything to back it up. But I want to say that it was Shimano that did that. Because Shimano wants to keep bike shops open. So they did a thing where no matter who you are or what you sell, here is the minimum price you can advertise it for. So everybody just sells it at MAP. That way it's not competitive to sell it online when you can just drive down to a physical location and buy it from a human being right then and there. And you'll have some support to it. Because the guy will tell you, should I buy this or should I buy the other one, you know? And that is largely gone because what do we have on the internet? We have reviews. And how many reviews are trustworthy, you know? Let's be honest about it.
Or you can dive down the well of Reddit.
Yeah, you dive down the Reddit well. And, I mean, how much of that is to be trusted? Fry's Electronics died, and now all Phoenix has is Best Buy. I can't believe... If you had told me to pick which is going to survive, Circuit City or Best Buy, I'm going Circuit City all the way. Circuit City was Target, and Best Buy was Walmart. That's basically what it was. But the Walmart model is successful, so here we are. We've still got Best Buy. I even liked Silo.
I like Silo, too.
Silo was great. Best Buy's floor inventory is getting pretty bad, though. It's starting to look like Circuit City shortly before they closed. Best Buy, our Best Buy, I don't know about anybody else's Best Buy. Our Best Buy has a thing inside of it called Pacific Sales, which is where you go to buy a $30,000 refrigerator. And I'm not kidding. That's how Best Buy's staying. They are subsidizing. Also, you can go to our Best Buy, buy a weed eater, a treadmill, an electric bicycle,
And
a camera and a laptop. Like, they've turned into, does it take a battery? We sell it at Best Buy. And I have bought items from Best Buy recently because I go on the internet to price compare, and where is it the cheapest? The frickin' Best Buy. It makes no sense. Like, Best Buy will be $100 cheaper on something than Amazon or even Walmart. And you're like, well, okay. Let's just Best Buy it is then. Let's head on down to the Best Buy.
And you get it in your hand that day.
11901. Yeah, there is something wonderful to getting it in your hand the same day. I think it's these. I hope it's these. The Best Buy near me is nothing but fridges and TVs. It's not always the best business to survive. Private equity purposely destroys successful companies. There is a deep and horrifying rabbit hole that you can go down on the internet about private equity. Because Joanne, we just lost Joanne Crafts, and that was 100% private equity that did that under. Private equity took care of Toys R Us for us. Private equity has destroyed all of the things that you love in the name of profit for basically corporate raiders. Like, it's real bad. What's 6x6? We are working again on the HC6 because we were cajoled. Let's say we were lightly cajoled last week. Mr. Shaker MT, who I have not seen in the chat today, and he spent good money for this. Oh man, if I have fond childhood memories, Mr. Raccoon, if I have fond childhood memories about anything, it's about Toys R Us. I loved Toys R Us.
What a fun place to go.
Toys R Us was amazing. The Toys R Us in our town is now a government office that I think has to do something about like child and family services or battered women or something. So it's really depressing.
Well, the old Concorian turned into the not welfare, but Medi-Cal office.
Medi-Cal office. Del Rosa Bowl is now an urgent care.
Huh.
The house I bowled at my whole life is now an urgent care.
You can go there, you just can't bowl.
I miss the 90s. Arcades, movie theaters with good movies, bowling alleys, pool halls, laser tag, paintball, video rentals. Yeah. We do need to go back, Marty. My Best Buy is currently in the building that was my Circuit City. That's dark. That's dark. That's like wearing the face and skin of your slain enemy. The Toys R Us by us is now a liquor store. That's a big liquor store. Is that a brush motor? Yeah, this is the motor that came with it. It's the Cross RC with the yelling like lion on it. And then we got a couple 35 kgs in it because what was the question? Are there a lot of question marks with this one? This is a couple of things. This is a remote control car. Yes. But it is not a remote control car. Okay? First and foremost, this is a model. This is a styrene model that you can drive around. So do not anticipate any level of performance whatsoever. This is very much in the vein of a BRX-02. This is a beautiful thing. Okay, let me put it to you this way. So I spent some time doing this. Look how good that looks. Here is the spare tire carrier. It goes in the back. I don't know what goes in this box, but I painted it. This is what this vehicle's battery tray looks like. There's the hole for where the plug goes through. Okay? When you assemble this, imagine if you've ever built a plastic body, if you've ever built a Revell, Tamiya, Hasegawa, if you've ever built a styrene model of anything, do you know how slots and pins work? Cross doesn't. When you assemble the parts, a lot of the time it's like, here's a flat strip of styrene. Glue it onto this flat piece of styrene. And it must be glued on precisely because the next step is going to involve a piece that fits between two pieces that you've glued down. And sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. So there's that guy, and then there's the little breather tank, and I haven't seen this piece come up, but it was styrene, so I painted it. To get to this right now, and here's the, this is a styrene model, right? This is a model. And the beauty of it is it's a military vehicle. So you know what they do with a deuce and a half? They just paint the whole thing one color. They either paint them tan or they paint them olive drab. And this looked more like an olive drab boy to me, so he's olive drab. The amount of time that it took to build this is not insignificant. All of these little pieces down the sides, these are all individual pieces. You had to glue a big strip on here and then a strip over that strip. Then you had to glue this strip down here, which had a little ledgy on it. You see that little ledgy? Little ledgy right there? That had to be faced that way. Then these were glued in afterward. And then you had to glue all of these little hooks on. Then all of this stuff just glued on. It is, oh no, this is a model. And then these are actual, see, I need to touch up the paint. But, let me put it to you this way. See, I didn't quite get into those top corners. This is all Krylon Fusion camouflage, which I swear by, because this is, it is both the coolest of the cool and the mattest of the matte. There is no gloss to that at all. And it's like building an armor model where you just start hosing it down with the color of your choice. And then I picked up, those who know will know, we're gonna detail it out. So we got the full Vallejo metallics. There's rust and all the different colors over there. There's like a smoke color. We've got the Vallejo wash effects to get the panel lines to pop. I got my airbrush right there. We're going to go in because this is kind of the prep heading into the BRX-02. And as I told the blind guy, I cannot start working on the BRX-02 in clear conscience having another model here that's not finished. And it looks like essential oils. Yeah, it costs about as much as essential oils, too. The Vallejo are not inexpensive. Yeah, more model-like than an RC4-wheel drive. Yes, this thing is proper. And here's, it's not like I'm keeping spoilers from you. I just want you to, know, okay? So we're only going to get to a certain distance, and here's why. This is the front of the beadlock wheel, and this is the back of the beadlock wheel. They go together like that. They have a big piece that goes to the center. They have a ring that goes around. So they bolt together. You get your holes lined up, bosh, and they're actual beadlocks, and the screws go through, and you lock the whole thing down, right? So this is a front, and this is a back. The deep dish is on the back. So there's one. Here's two. And you know how many we're going to need. I'm not sneaking up on you with how many we're going to need. There's three. There's four. Okay. We're 2/3 of the way there. There's five. And then we have two fronts. So whoever packaged this gave us 5 backs and 7 fronts. What are you gonna do? So I messaged Shaker yesterday, and he ordered, I think he said he ordered 4 more. I think he said he ordered 2 sets, which seems like too much, but.
Well, now you got a spare tire.
Yeah, we can put a beadlock on the spare. Yeah, the fine dust. I've inhaled a lot of fine dust today. You're dropping frames fast. It's not dropping frames right now. When the last person asked about frame drop, it was sitting at the same number.
Your internet connection is sloppy.
Mr. Mythigan, did you get the programmer for the secure? Oh, yes, I did. You didn't have to send it, though. So Thank you for including it, but you didn't need to send it because I think I have like 6 of them now. Because I had bought a bunch of ESC 70s. Again, not a flex, just a statement of how things are. Programmers. Most of them are rhinos, but if you need a programmer, you know, let HMU hit me up.
Do you still have like 30, 10?
I have the rhino ones.
Not the Rhino, the brushed one.
Oh, the cards?
1080.
No, I gave a bunch of them away. I kept a couple extras. Yeah, I saw your comments. They're just moving fast, and I'm rattling. Oh, I went to the Tractor Supply. I bought socks because I was so excited to be able to buy a sock in a store. I have to order all of my socks on the internet because my feet are huge. Those beadlocks suck. I don't believe that you're wrong, but they're going to get grunts mounted to them, and grunts are some small amount of improvement over the included cross tire, which I believe someone said the tires are basically apocalyptically bad, which would make sense because this is not an RC car. This is a model that moves. So grunts will likely be enough. I just spent that time screwing on these plastic fuel tanks. If you're not mounting plastic fuel tanks, you might not be driving a model that moves. It will be more RC car than model that moves. And I learned this yesterday because I have to paint all of these. And they are powder coated white. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to paint these and have it stay. They make a fun noise though. How do you set the drag brake on the Secure? The Secure is you need to have the Escape 32s. So if you have the Escape 32 70 amp or the Escape 32 120 amp, they're programmable via Wi-Fi. It's really fast and simple and easy, and you can go in and change all the settings, and you set your drag brake in there. But I've never had to mess with the drag brake force because it's always been enough. If you have to special order socks, what do you do about shoes? I buy them on the internet, or
wherever you find them.
What I do is I will. The wife is taking me along. Where are we going, darling? And we'll go somewhere, and I go into the place that has shoes. And I just scan the boxes until I see a 14. And if I open it up and it looks like something that I would put on my foot, I try it on and then I buy it, regardless of what it is, because it's a size 14. So I bought 3 pairs of shoes in one day at the local Columbia store because they were clearancing out all the size 14s. Is there a trick to make those bullets fit tighter? Yes, there is. Do you have a pick?
Or X-Acto knife?
Do you have an X-Acto knife will work, or a pick? Let me grab one that is on a lead. I'm just pummeling camera 3 around over there. So what you want to do is, because the bullet is split into, because the bullet is split, like how it has the little hole in the center, you can take a little pick and just give it a little wah, 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 and open it up a little. And see, that'll fit tighter now. Or if it's the bullet tip that is a little tighter, I don't know if I have any. These are all pretty much desoldered off of the whole thing. So I only have like one kind of bullet. Oh, there we go. So this bullet doesn't have the little hole in the center. You just take yourself a number 11, you get down in the middle like that, and you just do the same thing. You kind of wiggle them open. And that's how you do it. Now, if you have the old schooly, old-timey bullets that come on things that look like this, the way you make those fit tighter in the female, you get tighter in the female by desoldering these and putting new bullets on. Because once those have lost their sproing, they've lost their sproing. Yes, Mr. Truitt points out quite accurately, do not stab yourself with the razor knife. Don't stab yourself with the dental pick. But everybody should have one of these. The straight dental pick. It's the perfect application tool for thread lock because it will fit right. You can stick it in the holes. It's scratchy, so you can scratch at things. It's just useful all around.
Find them at Harbor Freight online.
Don't get me started on buying shoes. I have duck feet. When I was young, my mom told me to go and kick cows in the ass and walk around with them. Ha ha! Kevin, barefoot shoes. Barefoot shoes, life-changing for me. I have the feet that are shaped like this, like very narrow at the heel, and then my feet go out like that. And for years and years and years, my toes were being mashed together and making me generally uncomfortable. I wore the wrong size shoes for years and years, and then I wore shoes that weren't the right size. And now I bought a pair of $40 barefoot shoes off of Amazon, and they are what I wear 80% of the time that I'm wearing shoes. Well, then I'm wearing a shoe, like with laces, because then the other 20% of the time is boots, work boots, and I just make sure I get a full blow. It's a proper 14. I love I think they call them sneaker boots. I got some Carhartt sneaker boots. They're fantastic. Are they going to last a long time? No. Are they super comfortable? Yes. I have a pair of Chippewas that I've had for probably 20 plus years, and them's working boots. If you have to put those on, you're working. It's just like if you have to put the bags on. We're not playing anymore. Now it's a job. What am I doing? 11:205. M6 by something or other. I don't want Spain to come back and be like, I was gone for an hour and he didn't put any parts on there. Because I know that he will. I want to fight him. I'm going to go to Spain. I'm going to fight him. No, I'm not going to Spain. He's safe. He's safe because he's in Spain. Otherwise, I'd go fight him.
A lot of money to go fight someone.
That's a lot of money to fight somebody. Sometimes it's worth it. Ultra with wide toe boxes are nice. Yeah, the barefoot shoes are really wide in the toe box, and they're zero drop. I don't know if all barefoot shoes are zero drop, but zero drop took me zero time to get used to because I'm barefoot all the time.
So they don't have arch support?
No, like ordinarily in a shoe, the heel is higher than the toe. There's a heel on the shoe. Even on a tennis shoe. The only shoe that would be close would be like a Vans, like a skate shoe. I think skate shoes are also zero drop. So if you're familiar with wearing like classic Vans, going to a barefoot shoe will just feel basically the same to you, except your toes will have more room.
Wide shoes if you can find them.
Whoa, easy now. Easy now. What? How? But how? Oh, it's got standoffs. Wow, they thought of everything. I have to wear boots because my feet are super wide 13. Moose Moss, you need to go to a place that has 14s and try a 14 on and make sure you're not a 14. Because I wore 13 quad E for years. And then I put on a pair of 14s and was like, uh-oh, I've been wearing the wrong size shoe my whole life. There's about 8 millimeters of rise in the insole of my Vans. Oh, okay. So that's pretty close. That's pretty close. But the barefoot shoes are actual zero drop. Okay, so that's not the right screw for this. M3 by 6 by 4. That's not long enough. Unless these are shorter than I think. Are 3D printed inserts always the best? Here's the deal. Allow me to talk about that. A 3D printed insert will be truly transcendent if... Did I say 11:205? Ah, they're right here. A 3D printed insert will be the best when it is absolutely bespoke in every way. You have a guy, you got Revolt, or you've got anyone else who's doing a 3D printed insert. You tell them what vehicle they're going on, how much the vehicle weighs, what's the tire you're running, and they will make you a customized insert for that tire, for that vehicle, and you will have the best experience. But 3D printed inserts are very finicky. So if you mount them and then you make some reasonable size change to the vehicle,
Brass.
you throw some brass on, you take something off, you might just change the body. Now that 3D printed insert isn't going to work as well as it did before. It might get better even, but it might get worse. Whereas if you're talking about just like a dual stage, a silicone, they don't really care. You could add or take away a pound and the insert won't really change that much in terms of its performance. So 3D printed is the ultimate if the 3D printing is done as the ultimate. So like the inserts that are in Argenum the Phoenix will never be changed because Argenum the Phoenix has looked exactly the same since he went Zoku. For several years now, he has been unchanged. When his tusks wear out, he'll get a new set of tusks and he'll just keep looking like he does. So the squids that are in there will presumably not wear out and he'll just keep handling like he always does. But I have heard one time too many from people say, oh, I've tried 3D printed inserts and they just don't work for me. That is incorrect. They don't work for you because you either had the wrong insert on the wrong vehicle or the right insert on the wrong vehicle or the wrong vehicle on the right insert. Any microscopic change, you might change the rod ends on your shocks and it might make a difference where it gets a little better or a little bit worse. So 3D printed inserts should be treated as when the chef puts the dust of cinnamon over the top of the fancy $80 dessert. That last little bit, that's when the 3D printed inserts go on. When you have the vehicle fully sorted out, because they're still not sold cheap. Yeah, Hentai Bible loves the ones that he makes because he can go through all the iterations. How many have you made relative to the ones that you're running? How many did it take you to get to the point where you were like, I've got this down and I know what I'm doing? So also, you're inside the problem as well. Like, you know what you want, you know what you need, you're making the stuff. So a lot of people don't have access to that. They have to rely on someone else. And buying off the shelf, like, you can get a great result out of Three Brothers anti-foams with the tuning rods, but it is well and truly and genuinely a pain in the ass because you are going to mount and unmount those tires half a dozen times until you get the number of tuning rods right. That's what Jake runs, and no one can argue Jake's level of performance, but his beadlocks were uninstalled and reinstalled a dozen times, and Jake lives in the same condition that Argenum does, which is he has not been changed in a while. Once we went to those inserts and those tires, Jake is pretty much the way Jake is. If it works, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. I do not like how little embedment these screws have when attaching the... Luckily, no little scale man is going to step on these steps because that is the amount of thread. You can't... There it is. That is the amount of thread that goes into the rail. There might be 3 threads. 0.5 millimeter thread. So we have 3 threads, 1.5 millimeters. I still also use Enduro Blues. Yeah. I've been making my own 3D inserts. They're really good and been slowly moving the whole collection of them. Yeah, I mean, if you're making your own, who does that with the inserts? Any good insert maker will have a whole raft of questions to ask you when you're ordering your inserts. They're going to ask you, what's this going in? How much does it weigh? What tire are you putting them in? Is a 1200 Fusion torquier than a 2300 or just slower? The 2300 will make more power. The higher KV is more power. The advantage of the 1200 is that to employ the 1200, you're generally going to be giving it some kind of mechanical advantage. Also, a Fusion Pro has a 60 amp controller and an SE has a 40. So a 2300 is honestly about twice the power of a 1200. But the 1200 is very smooth for what it is. Now, yes, we lived in a better world when they were $69.99 and not $89.99. But I don't consider $89.99 to be an absolute deal breaker when it comes to the Fusion SE. But why I would opt for a 1200 far more often than a Pro 2300 is you don't need that Pro 2300 very often. I will buy 1200s all day. I will only buy a Fusion Pro when it is needed. It needs to be something that requires that kind of available RPM, that kind of wheel speed. You have to have a lot of gear reduction. Basically, if you're looking at a final drive ratio of less than 80-1, you probably do not need a Fusion Pro. Now, if you're not building a fleet of 50 vehicles and your fleet is going to be 6 vehicles, by all means, put a Pro in every one of them. It makes sense. You're going to put it in once and never change it. That's the thing about Fusion Pros. We have Argenum had a Fusion Pro bolted in when he was built, and it has never been touched. It's never even been unbolted from the vehicle. It's just been in there. I've had the entire gearbox apart multiple times, but I've never put a drop of oil. I've never done any measure of service to that motor at all. It is truly a set it and forget it. And Mr. Truitt pipes in with something that is relevant. If you have a cheap transmission, stay away from the 2300 Pro. The amount of torque and horsepower that it can generate, combined with FOC, will turn your gears into cylinders if given the opportunity. It will break stuff. If you've got plastic gears in your gearbox and sintered gears on your axles, a 2300 Pro will let you know, because you will bind it up and something will go pop. Have we talked about the Holmes new 2-in-1? We've talked about it before, and to me, it's just question marks, because, and not anything to do with Holmes. If any company had released that 2-in-1, okay, here's my question. Let me get visual aids.
Speed control receiver 2-in-1.
Let me get visual aids. Okay. There we go.
Motor ESC
Okay.
speed control.
Here's a Secure 1800. Okay. Here's a Fusion SE, which is representative of all Fusions. Okay. There are applications where this fits, right? And many of these applications, the little what I call baby gearboxes, so OD3s, Nod 2s, the Mias, any of those little things, they will fit a motor this big. Wizard, you can fit up to a 3632, and that's it. Stubby kit on a VFD can fit a 3632. You're really better off with a pancake, like a 3625. If you can fit a full-size can, you run one of these, right? You run a Fusion Pro, or a Fusion SE or a Pro. Inexpensive, you never think about it, no maintenance required, put it on, drive. These you use whether maybe you want to do an outrunner, or the vehicle will only allow this, okay? So imaginary, right in between, because I don't have one, right in between these two is the Holmes 2-in-1. I cannot see an application where the Holmes 2-in-1 fits somewhere this doesn't, but will fit and operate somewhere this does. So it's right in here. The 4S claim, that's fine. I can't find an outrunner that won't do 4S. I can't even think of one. Most will do 6S. A Secure 120 will do 8S. So the S claim, and also if you're talking about, oh, well, he has it in different KVs. You can buy these in KVs from, I've seen as low as 500 and as high as 3,000. So an outrunner, this is a secure, and the 70 amp is very small and very light, and I would argue probably lighter than the SE, and you have a greater range of adjustability. What if you decide that you're running an 1800 and you decide, I really want to run a 1400? You just buy a 1400 motor. You take this one out, you put a 1400 in. If you buy a 2-in-1 and you get a 2300 and decide that you want a 2800, you buy another 2-in-1. So I don't understand. I don't know what the application is. 4S is not a selling point for me. The fact that it's a couple millimeters shorter than a Fusion is not a selling point for me because this is a known quantity. This is an absolutely known quantity. They are still, even at the current post-tariff pricing, these are still very inexpensive. 99. Yes, the Holmes 2-in-1 is shorter. It's a couple millimeters shorter, but that couple millimeters is going to help you in like original OG 10-2, which was built for a 540. So you could fit a 2-in-1 in there, but you can't really fit in there without cutting. But then you could just run one of these. So yeah, the in-runner is, well, no, it's not an in-runner. It's an outrunner turned inside out is basically what it is. It's sealed and waterproof. Nothing is waterproof. It is sealed, but it's like 8 millimeters shorter. That's a couple of millimeters. This is significantly shorter than this. The 2-in-1 is 50 millimeters. This is 50. What are they? 8? 5? I think they're 8. Yeah, it's 8 millimeters shorter than an SE. So it's 50 millimeters. Well, this is 25 millimeters long. And actually, is that from the face? Yes, face to back of can is 25 millimeters. So this is half the length of a Holmes. Yeah, you've got to run an external ESC. But, and here is the one that kills it. Here's the one that kills it for me. How do you program the 2-in-1? What is the procedure to program the Holmes 2-in-1? Do you just plug a little Wi-Fi dongle into your phone and just program it? Is that how you do it? Or is there some other rigmarole that you have to do? Do you need like a card or a laptop? Like what do you need to do? Kit crawlers, no. It is 75 degrees in here. We got the Swampy on low. I got a little fan going. It's probably 100 degrees outside. I can actually find out. I can tell you right now. Sometimes I forget I have an app. Yeah, it is smoking outside right now. Hopefully it's cooler on Sunday. Supposed to be. Yeah. Okay. Now, mind you, this is direct sunlight because my weather station is up on our old dish mount from back when we had Dish Network. It's mounted up on the roof. So, yeah, buddy. So if you were standing out in the canyon in between obstacles, that is about what you would experience. It's not a good time. Oh, this is fun.
What's the temperature for those of us who aren't on the live stream?
It's 104. RC Family asked a very important question because he is from somewhere, the Midlands? You're in the Midlands or the North? He's somewhere in Great Britain, and he asked, what is a swamp cooler? Okay. Here you go. Okay. Swamp cooler is a colloquial term for a series of air conditioning devices called evaporative coolers. An evaporative cooler, here we go. We're going to whiteboard. We're whiteboarding! Okay. Here's how an evaporative cooler works. Okay. We're going to do it simply. I'm going to try. Okay. So over here, you have outside. Here's the sun. It's very hot. It's outside. Here you have a thing, and you have some sort of membrane in it. Sometimes it's made out of spruce wood. Sometimes it's made out of foam. Over here, you've got a little drip guy. That this is water. Water is dribbling down through this and going into a pan in the bottom, and then there's water down here, right? And there's a little pump that's pumping water up into that, like that. In the middle of here, you've got a fan. And that fan is blowing air into the building this way. So it's pulling air from outside, which is around here, very hot and very dry. And it's pulling it into this, which is pulling it through water. So as it pulls it through the water, it can usually cool the air by about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So you see how there is a point of diminishing returns to that. It's 104 degrees outside, so it's going to cool that air down to about 84. But if you anywhere you have, so it's 104 degrees Fahrenheit on the roof, but in the carport, it's probably 87. So that means that it can cool the water down theoretically to 67. Now, nothing is 100% efficient, but basically all you're doing is running a pump and a fan. So right now, it's wet hay with a fan. There is a pump pumping water up that's going through pads, and then a fan is pulling air through it. And it's not just the one pad. The ones we have on the house are one pad, but the pad is this thick.
Sides.
It's like 5 inches thick. These have pads on 3 sides. So if you looked at it from the top, it has 3 pads like this, and the air is going that way. And they are very, very inexpensive. It is why it is 57% relative humidity in here right now. And I can feel it getting a little bit warmer because this is as hot as it has been since last summer. Like this is a proper summer day sneaking in the spring. That's way too complicated. Just put an ice block behind your fan like my grandpappy used to do.
Put ice blocks in your swamp cooler.
Yeah, you can put ice blocks in your swamp cooler. They make portable swamp coolers. They make swamp coolers that have chillers to cool the water down.
But it only works in low humidity.
And it only works in low humidity. You could not use a swamp cooler in any of the American South. I doubt that you could use one in Britain and vast parts of Europe. They work in the desert because we are in the desert. And I don't know if you saw, but it is currently 17% relative humidity outside. Which, for those of you in other parts of the world, that's pretty low. B. B. Well, that's not synced up at all. I'm just keeping my hands busy, you know? Ooh, I don't like that. I'm trying to get these drive shafts to be somewhat synced. This one doesn't really sync. That's close. That's about 1 spline off. Should be close enough. Ice water in the bottom of a swamp cooler works in Northeast Florida. Hey, there you go. We don't have swamp coolers in the Midwest. No, you guys have corn sweat. Which is a thing I only just learned about. Yeah, my grandmother had one growing up at her house in Texas. It kept you cooler, but you were soaked in water. See, we don't get soaked in water because outside it's 17% relative humidity. So when it evaporates, it really evaporates. So the humidity in here, the Canyon shop where we're all occupying right now is really a humidor. It stays within a window of about 10 or 15% humidity in here. So like between 50 and 65 all the time. Just all the time. I picked up the Holmes 2-in-1, having issues with it. If the aux wire is plugged in, it cogs and gets hot, no load, sitting on, pinion removed. It will slowly keep getting hotter. Not as bad without the aux wire. Ooh. I grew up in a swamp cooler in 3 rooms to cool our house when I was a meat child. I wonder if that's an autocorrect. Meat child.
Meat child.
I think we were all meat children. Apparently we're putting on an axle. Can you believe it? I can't. Look at this. They kicked down the extra. They kicked down the extra coin for the flat tip set screws. Fancy. Fancy. They want me to thread lock the drive shaft pin in, but you know what I'd like to not do? Thread lock drive shaft pins on. Because more often than not, it comes back to bite you right squarely in the tuchus. That's how things decide to strip out on you. We used them in the Texas Panhandle. Yeah. Now,
Oklahoma.
now, here's my question about the Panhandle. Like, what kind of humidity do you get up there? Like, I know the Panhandle sure ain't Galveston. I don't know. I've never, I've traveled around the country, but well, we never once stopped in Texas.
Operation.
Unintentionally. You didn't opt for an operation in Texas. It just happened. It's 9:20 here in the evening in London, and it's 45% humidity. Yeah, 45% is what it's like here in like the middle of the night. 45% during the day probably means it's going to rain. Drag brake is okay. The aux wire is your adjustable drag brake on the Holmes 2-in-1. If you ain't adjusting it on the fly, unplug it. Drag brake is okay. Not Fusion Pro level because it's not censored, so it doesn't add throttle to hold you in place. Holy crap load of power punch. Well, I mean, yeah, it's an outrunner, so it should. What I would like to see is I would like to see it up directly head-to-head against an outrunner. Oh, I see what I've done. I see what I've done. I've done my own ad in. Hey, 5 free! Reload, Dennis Surratt, Trouble TX, Lewis Sharky Taylor. I'm seeing names that I've seen before. I wondered why I had 2 of these Shacklemans just sitting off to the side because I didn't install them. That's why I have them. And these are lock nutted on, so we get to undo that which we hath done. Never expect much to be done on this thing in any given installment. I'll have a head-to-head with the Fusion Pro soon enough. Nice. So I asked last week if you had seen the Horizon mistake with the Zool sale. Long story short, they honored the $129.99 price, but made another mistake in my favor and sold it to me for $499. That's awesome. That's I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit jelly. I'm a little jelly.
How was that in his favor? If it's
$4.99.
Okay. Yes, even better. I thought you meant $500.
Dude, $5 Zool is the best trail vehicle ever made by man.
Not to be beat by anything.
As my grandmother would say, look how much money you saved by buying that thing. You can dump every dollar into that. Like, you better be putting a Fusion Pro in it. You paid $5 for it. Oddly, though, I'm not mad. I got really mad when my buddy got a VFD twin on Facebook Marketplace for $55. I'm still mad about that. And I've never bought a VFD twin a la carte. If I had, I'd be really mad. $55. I mean, on the one hand, good for him. On the other hand, boo. $55. Blind guy can't see if it's Oklahoma or Texas. I forgive you this time. Not only that, he can't tell the difference between colors.
If there's a panhandle, it's Oklahoma. Texas doesn't have a pan.
I mean, you can take it up with him.
I've seen a map.
It was the IFS also, so you got a Zool 2 for $5. Honestly, I would just flip it at that point.
Sell it for $130.
Sell that thing for $150. Profiteer that action. That's wild. I'm still just chuffed that they gave me $50 store credit for the Wizard fiasco. I mean, you know, store credit's a trap.
Yeah.
Because my next order certainly wasn't $50.
Did you store credit when we bought the Wizard parts?
I use this. I bought all the Upgrade RC tires with the store credit, so it covered, you know.
Oh, through Amazon. Okay.
Through A-Main. It
sorry.
covered a portion of it.
Yeah.
I'm in and out today working on a boat. Boat.
Delicious.
In and out is fine. I know it's almost un-Californian to say, but In and Out is never one of the first places I think, oh man, I really want to go there.
You dirty Chicagoan.
It's a fine,
Go eat your Chicago hot dog.
Like, I'm okay with, like, the milkshakes, and a double-double is perfectly acceptable,
Well,
but...
yeah. I like it better than Baker's.
No, that's just nonsense. Now you're just saying things to be rude. No, it is not. The blind guy is now, he's not to be trusted in anything that he says, because he's over here trying to claim that there's a little local place that basically only exists in the Inland Empire called Baker's.
There's one. Oh.
And he's trying to claim that In and Out is better than Baker's, and that is simply patently untrue. In and Out, I feel like, has this cultish following of people that just don't want to experience anything good. Like, their fries are undercooked.
Yes, don't order their fries.
And they do get it to you in a hurry. But, like...
Well, there's only 5 things on the menu.
But there's 12 hamburgers I would take before an In-N-Out. Before I stopped at an In-N-Out.
Well, I'm not saying it's the best.
You said it was better than Baker's, which is nonsensical. You speak like someone who's never had a taco burger before.
A taco burger is something different. I said it's better than the double baker.
By far, this hobby is the most addicting thing I've ever dealt with in my life. You can buy one thing and it leads to the next thing and so on and so on.
70 vehicles.
Sir, this is the choir to whom you are preaching. We know all too well. We know all too well. Baker's is still around? Yeah. Florida isn't a pan either. That's true. But it does have a little thing at the top. A bowl is a hole out of the water that you dump money in. Taco burgers are S tier. Jerry the Raccoon! He knows what he's talking about. Jerry, if you want to take Blind Guy's job, you come on over here.
I didn't say nothing about taco burgers. I was talking double baker to double-double.
Double Baker better than double-double!
Never!
It's not even close. Taco burgers are the shiz nizzle. See? You're outnumbered here, punk.
I'm not talking about the taco burger.
You better not ever say a bad word about the taco burger.
Nothing wrong with the taco burger. They're fucking delicious.
He's talking... I can't believe...
I was talking hamburger to hamburger.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
All right.
Do we need to...
Next
Okay.
time I'm down, we're doing the challenge. We're
Okay.
cutting the burger in half.
Okay. Okay. Next time he's here. Okay. Next time he's here, we're going to go to Baker's and In-N-Out before the stream. And we're going to get one of each. We're going to cut them in half. And we're going to do the live stream. We're going to do taste test. Double-double versus double Baker. You'll see it here live.
And I don't get the double-double the way I want it, and you get the...
I get the double Baker just the way it comes. I'll only take the Blind Guy's job if I get to drive Jolly Green while I'm doing it.
I've never driven Jolly Green. You won't let me.
Nothing screams overrated like Chick-fil-A, though.
Yes.
You know what? You know what?
It's good, but
it's a fine taco sandwich. I mean, it's a fine chicken sandwich, but I will not wait in that line for any chicken sandwich.
Yes.
It's not that good. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I don't know if I've ever in my life craved Chick-fil-A. Now, if you want to end the argument over In-N-Out versus Baker's, we can end it right now with 3 words. Chili cheese tots.
I ain't talking about sides, I'm talking about burgers. Yes, I know In-N-Out's fries are horrible.
You really sound like you're on the back foot, though, with the chili cheese tots.
I was talking about the fucking burger.
In-N-Out has no response to chili cheese tots.
Well, they do have animal fries, which is pretty damn good.
Jerry the Raccoon is defending Chick-fil-A.
Well, you need 2 chicken sandwiches to fill you up.
And I also found out I disagree with Mr. Truitt on this one. I consider Raising Cane's to be rated. It is what people say about it is absolutely correct. It's a pretty good chicken finger. It's a pretty good chicken finger, but like, it's not like, oh man, I can go 6 months without eating Raising Cane's and not miss it. I'll be absolutely fine. But if we're out and somebody sees one and go, what do you think about Raising Cane's? I go, oh yeah, all right, I'll give it a try. That sounds pretty good. Not sure if you have Shake Shack. We just started getting Shake Shacks. We have a Shake Shack. Here's the problem with Shake Shack.
They're overpriced.
Oh my God. After a trailing session, me and the wife stopped at Shake Shack on the way home. 2 burgers, 2 fries. I got a shake. She got a Diet Coke. It was $51. I almost fell over back. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. And that was correct. That was how much it cost. I'll never forget it. I'll be thinking about it forever. Raising Cane's just opened up here in Massachusetts and the lines were insane. Yeah, I mean, the lemonade is fantastic and the sauce is good. It's good. It's absolutely rated. Yes, Shake Shack is unbelievable in how expensive it is. And we have a very local hole in the wall that is run by youths. There's a bunch of youths in there. It's called Hate Burger. Hate Burger is worth the trip and worth the money. It's so good. Is it good for you? No. Is it amazing? Yes. That is 3 people. Hate Burger, $100. That's what it costs. It is a treat that you give yourself every once in a while. You do not eat there regularly. They're opening a Dave's Hot Chicken right down next to the Costco. Huh. So we will try it. But this gentleman who said, Nemo said that Dave's Hot Chicken's $25 a person. Wow. That's a little on the steep side.
I don't think it was that much. I know there's one in Redlands.
Is there one in Redlands? Where?
There's one somewhere.
The only one I've seen is the one that they're opening right down here.
It's come up on my food apps before.
We have a Popeyes chicken place. Yeah, Popeyes just came to the UK recently, fairly recently. Popeyes is good. Yeah, he said good, but not great. I agree.
It's better than KFC.
It's better than KFC. But KFC ain't what it used to be, as far as I'm concerned. Original Raising Cane's near here, LSU, is still the best around. Oh, I believe it. Yeah. Before franchisization, everything is most likely better.
You said Dave's Hot Chicken, right?
Dave's Hot Chicken. We have Killer Burger. The peanut butter pickle bacon burger is amazing. That's a lot. That's a lot. Pickles. I feel like you're of the age to know and have an opinion. Where do you stand on liver and onions?
Never.
I don't eat liver. So honestly, I don't think I've ever eaten liver and onions in my life. So I have no idea. I might like it and I just don't know. I can tell you with great accuracy that which I don't like. Mussels. I've never met a mussel that I liked. Red onions. Well, no. I hate red onions, except we ate a dish somewhere and they had like this red onion relish. It didn't taste like red onions anymore. It was delicious. Raw red onions, horrible. They just make it. If you put red onions in a salad, you better put them up. You better square up because we're coming.
Yeah, there's a Dave's Hot Chicken in San Bernardino off of Harryman.
Oh, so up by Cal State.
Harryman Plaza.
Yeah. Everything has gotten so expensive. Can't get lunch for under 20. I got a banh mi and an iced tea. No sides, $23. Yeah. How much is a gallon of milk in California? About $5. About $5 a gallon. What's the one you go to for a fight? Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, it's Chuck E. Cheese, 100%. We got Nando's in the UK. See? We over here, us folks way over on the left coast, I want to try on Nando's. I watch a lot of British things on the television.
What kind of food is Nando's?
It's chicken. It's a chicken place. And I watch Chicken Shop Date with Amelia de Moldenberg, so I've seen Nando's before, and I will never get to experience Nando's. It seems unlikely at this point. I don't think anybody can FedEx me some Nando's. Ordered my barefoot. Hey, Kevin Clauser ordered some barefoot shoes. Awesome. Liver mush is awesome. Pickled red onions are tasty and the only way to have them. Yeah. Spicy mustard from the local Chinese spot and any fast food French fry. I do love some spicy mustard. How much is a gallon of petrol in the USA? Right now, the cheapest you'll get is at the Costco, right by my house, $3.99 a gallon. $4 a gallon, which is, I know, significantly cheaper than what you blokes are paying over in the UK. You guys are probably paying about $4 a liter, so we're definitely ahead of you there. But Californians use, I want to say 40 million gallons of gas a day. It's a gallon per person, I think, is a gallon per person per day is what is consumed in California. And we pay more than everybody else in the rest of the country. The rest of the country's paying less than us. Yeah, Nemo over in Massachusetts, $2.69 a gallon. $2.35, $2.85, $2.47 in Arkansas, $2.95. Yeah, you will the highest price, unless we get somebody on here from Alaska. California's going to have the highest price gas. $2.75 in Southeast Georgia, but stricken obvious $2.18. Oh, Big Good Lake and Villa, $1.60 a liter. That's like $6.50 a gallon. Oh, Aaron Schmidt, that's Costco. That's the cheapest gallon of gas. If you want to go to the Chevron, it's $4.79 a gallon. And up. A gallon of super right now will cost you $5.19 a gallon at the Chevron that is across the street from the Costco. It's worth if you buy gas and use gas and drive a car, it's worth it to get a Costco membership just to buy gas. Alaska's still cheaper than California? Oh, that's depressing. That's not heartening. 11,209 M3 by 14. $11,209?
Not horrible.
What?
Dave's.
Oh, Dave's Hot Chicken?
A 10-piece Dave's Bites, chicken bites with fries is $12.50.
Yeah, it's kind of on par. It's
Pricey,
California,
but
you know.
still,
Costco in King County, Seattle is $4.29. Yeah, we have, well, our Costco is the cheapest Costco in like Southern California. Because for one reason and one reason alone, Costco prices their fuel based on the lowest local competition. We just got a gas station down the street called Stars and Stripes, and they're selling their gas like 50 cents a gallon cheaper than all of the other places around. So Costco price matches the Stars and Stripes. So we had $3.79 when the place across the street was $4.60. I can't find my mind. Oh, here they're in this bag. I'm trying to find the other shock end. It's on the parts tree. So I don't know how I got the other one. It must have fallen off. Buy yourself a gallon on me. You know I'm going to waste your money on coffee. Hey, Miata Commuter's package finally showed up. Someone was kind enough to send me a servo, and that thing hasn't updated its shipping information since the 4th. It just says, in transit to next location, destination, arriving late. I don't know if Mr. Mythigan's stuff has arrived in Mythigan yet. It should. If Miata Commuter got their radio today, I imagine the one in Michigan should be arriving today as well. It was supposed to arrive on the 7th, But lately the Postal Service is just goofing around. 11209. Okay, got it. The instructions via on a cross model are nuts. Are nuts. Like, much of this is to be deciphered.
Like that other thing you built.
What's your favorite model to date from Cross and why? What do you find are consistent weak areas from Cross? Cross is RC four-wheel drive in a different suit. That's what it is. RC four-wheel drive is actually geared a little bit more towards actual doing things. Cross is other Tamiya, basically. You're building a model. Like if you're building one of those like 14th scale haulers, I imagine that is a very similar experience to what I am endeavoring through right now. So you buy and build one of these because it looks neat. You don't buy and build one of these because you're like, I'm gonna go slay lines, bro. The Canyon-style 1 hour paint job almost bit me the other day. Spastic's holographic base coat had hazed before the black backer went on. Oh. I tried my first holographic base and color change, and let's just say, not successful. But, creep cab. So, if there's something to experiment on, it's the creep cab. Yeah, Jerry the Raccoon is 100% right. Cross builds motorized models. It's a model that moves.
Especially if it's made out of styrene.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what hard bodies are made out of.
I thought they were ABS.
What do you think the S in ABS stands for?
I don't know.
Styrene. It's something like amyl butyl styrene.
Okay.
See, you learn whether you want to or not. You learn something new every day. They're all just whatever they called. They're petroleum-based plastics. One and all. Even Legos. Okay, attach one end of the shocks. See, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to cross. Okay, so if you want weaknesses in it, it's like attach this screw to here. Now suddenly they're just attached to the axle. At no point did they tell me to connect that to the Did it happen like 20 pages ago? Was I supposed to hang the shocks on there? Because I want to know, is this my fault or is this their fault? Who did this? Yeah, this is my fault.
The shock should have been hanging.
The shock should have been dangling off there since inception, yeah. Through the bottom hole, and then there's a little plastic bit in the front that the screw goes through and into. Yeah, that's on me. I take it back, Cross. I was being unkind, and it's my fault. Now, where those little pieces are, that's an excellent question. Windshield wipers. Don't know what those are. Okay, they're aluminum. I tried size 14 shoes. You are right. What are shoe sizes, man? Made up. I saw that expressed no more colorfully than cycling shoes, where those are all in like European sizes. And you'd try a 58 on and another 58, and one you couldn't get your foot into, and then the other one you could put your thumb behind your heel on the same size shoe. I did mine on a full creep body and it came out fine, but I almost scrapped it. Well, no, just remember, you can always paint it on the outside. Hey, Charles with another one. Don't put the interior coming soon into Green Machine. He has his own design. The one arriving sooner is for the red wine body. Oh, okay. I think they're assuming that if you built a model that you can drive, you understand how to assemble a model. No. I've been building models since before many people in the chat were born. And this was arduous. None of these parts key together in any way. It's just flat pieces sitting on flat pieces. And it was not, like, look at the little angle. There's no, nothing had pins, nothing had holes, nothing had alignments. It was just, you dumped out, it was like when there'd be those aircraft models where you just dumped out a bunch of balsa wood onto the table and then it was up to you to figure it out. This was somewhat akin to that. So I found those pieces. Now I need to find two little spacers, unknown origin, maybe plastic. They are aluminum. Okay. And then I need 28s. Now I'm just dropping stuff everywhere. Nobody uses the imperial gallon anymore since the UK Commonwealth nations all went metric. But it was a thing when I was little. Yes. Short ton, long ton. $11 to 11 is an M3 by 18, and then two M3 by 28s. 215, yes. Nope. If I dumped that mess onto a table, it would get swept right back into the box. Well, I operate fairly consistently in a disordered nonsense. So I've become accustomed to my own shenanigans, and I can adapt to my own idiocy fairly quickly. You need to. I learn how to flow with it because I know I'm going to try to sabotage myself at some point, like I did now. I'm back on page 17 because I neglected to put these parts on. I was clipping along. We were clipping along, and this is what happens when you're clipping along. So we need to put this through like this. And the kit has been missing parts. We've been missing a couple parts. And I looked, and I've been keeping everything in the O box, so I know I didn't lose some of the parts. And then once I got to the mismatched number of rim pieces, I knew that I was not to be held completely responsible for the position that I found myself in. I did lose the shocks a little bit. Well, it's like it's building a model and an RC car at the same time. Seriously, what did you do with the shocks? I did just have them.
Are they hanging off the axle?
No, oh, they're bolted to the vehicle. Oh, no! Found the shocks. I found the shocks. I hate you. I actually hate you. You didn't hear it here first, folks. I've told him that I've hated him before, and I really do. Like, I just realized that I'm building this upside down. And the instructions in the manual for when the axle is not yet installed on the vehicle, so you'd be building it right side up. I've done that with rear axles before, put it on the vehicle upside down. It's fun.
There's not enough room to rotate it up? The shock?
No, the shock's already built. It's the little thing that the shock is attached to on the axle. There's two holes, one above the other. And all of this stuff was supposed to be attached to the axle 16 pages ago, but I didn't do that because
I'll just do it when I install the axle.
Because I am my own worst enemy. My friend and I back in the day would see if we could build a model without opening the instructions. I guarantee you'd have given that up if you tried to build this thing. Like a plastic model, I could do. Not this thing. Not this thing. The order that some of the parts went onto this piece. Ed got hit.
Wow.
Miata commuter got Ed. Got him! Look at that.
You don't remember.
Got him. There was that one time you put the rear axle on top of the chassis. Yeah, building it upside down again. Only I thought it was upside down and I was right side up. I'll do it all. Can't believe Ed got.
Wow, since he's got one.
It's been a while since he got. So now Ed's going to have to go through all the members' content in the next 28 days. That's how that works. All right, we're back to page 30-some. Because now I got the shocks. Oh, we're assembling the drag link and the steering guy. Having a good time. Having a good time. Hugo's like, now get me.
You just got one recently.
Oh no, his ran out over a month ago, I think.
I'll say.
I think he's been off for a while. I don't think he's been off as long as Ed has. He's been off for a while.
I remember Hugo getting one not that long ago.
Yeah, but I think he's only been hit once. That was one hell of a streak since last time he got. Yeah, it was. It really was. Well, he's got a yellow. I don't remember how long. I don't know how long this is. Like, well, it'll pop up when my stats update. It will show how long total that he's been a member. So then we'll know how many times he's got. Now I'm burying stuff under the manual because it makes things much easier.
What you do? Set this down for a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to set this thing down for a second under the manual.
Well, you just set the manual down. Whatever you're working on.
We can't catch Jerry the Raccoon because he's an elusive creature.
He's a creature of the night.
The creature will sneak away with his little hands
And wash them in the river.
and wash them in the river. He will wash those memberships off in the river. Would get hit with 100 memberships or something like that before I got a membership. Yeah. I was watching The Harpist. It was a particularly unhinged stream on Wednesday. Emily Harpkins. Ed has been a member for 6 months. So they've hit him. So he's been hit a couple times.
6 times.
A guy joined, like just popped up in the chat, and he was like, "Oh, this is my first stream," and his name was Bob Joe. That was what his screen name was. And they went on this crusade to get a membership for Bob Joe, and people must have bought 300 gift memberships, and then all of these accounts started popping up. Bob Joe 2, Bob Joe 3, Bob Joe from the future. It was
Madness.
it was madness, absolute madness for like 2 hours. This is less fun than I thought it would be.
I thought you enjoyed models.
No, this is throwing rod ends on. Nobody likes to throw rod ends on. It's not as fun. Hey, Shaker's there. Don't feed raccoons sugar cubes.
Why?
I don't know. They'll come after you? I don't know. Not crawler related. What tires are recommended for a 1/10 four-wheel drive truck like a Stampede or a Rival MT10? Just anything that isn't Proline. Because I had trenchers and they looked amazing. Oh, here, best advice. Go on Jenny's, go to the takeoff section and get some like tires off of like an Arma Big Rock or something. They will be cheap. Or look through what else. They might have Techno MT410 on there. You might be able to get some takeoffs from stuff like that, and they'll be really, really cheap. Because tires on a monster truck, honestly, are not that super critical in my estimation. So just try to save money when you can. Raccoons do wash their food before they eat. That's why that one video was great where that raccoon was, they gave it cotton candy and it put it in the river to wash it and it just disappeared. And you could see the look on that raccoon's face. It was like, what just happened?
Did they answer you why you don't give a raccoon sugar cubes?
No. Do you have any more fake wild peaks? I do not. Possums don't sleep where they poop. Well, that's good.
Good. You're not supposed to do that. Wait, not to eat where you poop.
Raccoons are not that sneaky. I was standing 2 feet away from one the other night while I was eating my wife's cat's food. Got some good pictures of that fat little bastard. Oh, he knew you were there. He just wasn't going to do anything about it.
Those things make some wild noise when they're humping.
Yeah, back before the big tree fell down, the raccoons would go up there and have sweet raccoon love time. And it was
loud.
It was loud and terrifying. A group of raccoons have been partying on our pool deck every night, eating all the squirrels' peanuts. That sounds right.
I'm giving the squirrels peanuts.
I haven't seen a raccoon. Well, we have one that I call my sister-in-law's boyfriend, because she'd be out in the dark, and there'd be a raccoon out there, and she could hear it like rustling, and then she would run screaming into the night. And I'd be like, "It's just your boyfriend." It made me buy a trail camera because I was seeing these giant footprints out on the course, and I was like, "What is making those?" And it's a giant, fat, waddling raccoon. He's got to weigh 30 pounds, and his paw prints are like that big around. He's a big boy. He's a big chunky boy. 11214 is M3 by 25. I'm starting to feel like I've painted myself into a real screw corner where I'm going to have to just dig into my own screws here because I can't find any of the screws I'm supposed to be looking for. And that's no one's fault but my own, because, we've been building this thing over the course of like a year. So it's good that we're here together today.
Oh, maybe that's why you don't get raccoon sugar cubes, because they dissolve in the water.
Is this across RC? Yes, absolutely it is. When wet, raccoons' paws become even more sensitive, helping them detect textures and shapes in the dark or underwater. Oh. Am I the only one who ever had problems getting their thumbs stuck in the thumb hole of a bowling ball? No.
That's a problem every bowler.
No, and also I have liver fluke thumbs, so they're flat. Like, see how flat it is from the end, but it's wide. And then it has this it's much smaller below the knuckle. So I have to have a ball that has the insert in it. And still, well, I'm right-handed, so I bowl with this one. And look how crooked that thing is. The nail's over to one side. No, I have messed up thumbs. My thumbs are messed up. No, you're definitely not the only one that would get your thumb stuck in a bowling ball.
It happens while you're bowling sometimes.
Happens when you're bowling all the time. Okay, so this is from the bottom. Top. 18 on one side, 25 on the other. Okay, I got that. And I'm trying to build it right side up, and they're showing it to me upside down. Hey, there's that piece! I got to go back in the manual about 25 pages. Because there's a part. No, there it is. I only had to go back and pay a couple pages. 11216 is M2.5 by 6 times 26. I think I'm down to the last 4. I had a piece with an arrow on it, and I said, I don't know what this is for.
It takes 26 screws to install it?
No, there's 26 of one type of screw.
No. Okay.
Now, where does the arrow go? Yeah, this was installed a long time ago. Arrow pointing forward. Okay. All right. We'll get there. if I was a piece of poop, would you flush me?
Yes.
This is the growing theme on the internet of wives and girlfriends assaulting their husbands with ridiculous situations. If I turned into Jabba the Hutt, would you still love me? That kind of stuff, because women are problematic. Because a real-world scenario pales in importance to an inconceivable scenario. What if I woke up tomorrow and I was a cockroach? Would you still love me?
I get mad at men for dreams they've had.
You were talking to a girl at the gym in a dream that I had. Yeah, these are things. I remembered why I didn't install this piece, because it needs to be painted.
The arrow needs to be painted.
Explain to me how affiliate links work for Amazon. I'm about to order those Mias axles, the brass, and the overdrive ring and pinion through your affiliate link. So what happens is, when you click through an affiliate link, that, what they call a session, that session is assigned to that affiliate link. So anything you purchase during that session, I get credit for you buying it. The rate on Amazon floats around 3%. It varies by item. Some are more, some are less. So if you were to spend $100, I would get an affiliate, basically like a kickback for leading you there to buy it, of $3. Roughly. That's basically how that works. Now, if you were to click on another affiliate link from another YouTube channel, seller, vendor, whatever other link, if you click on that link, anything in that session, it goes to the most currently clicked link. So it would go to whoever else. So it only needs to be one item. You only have to click through one item, and anything during that session. Like I said, I don't know who you are, but someone is a hero because they bought a wheelchair lift. Some sort of hydraulic wheelchair lift was apparently very expensive, because it basically doubled my monthly income from Amazon that month. Now, in a typical month on Amazon, like $80 is what I'll scrape on Amazon. Which, when you think about it, as I make a 3% kickback, $80 is
$8,000.
Kind of a lot. So that means, $3 is better than a swift kick in the butt, and it's really $3 for not doing anything, right? I mean, I just got
you to the product.
Yeah, I just guided you. I said, here, this is a good thing. Buy this thing. Am I hallucinating a scale rig with leaves? Oh, it gets worse than that. My friend, my good friend, listen to me while I tell you things. Let me give you numbers. We'll put this on here. We will zero. Okay, we have a gearbox, a front axle, the 2 servos, and a couple little plastic bits. 1,840 grams.
7 pounds.
4 pounds. This part of the vehicle weighs 4 pounds. If this thing is less than 12 pounds when fully assembled, it will be a miracle. Because the bed weighs 1.34 pounds.
What's that in grams?
Refuse to tell you. The rear axle truss weighs 1.6 pounds. So the bed and the rear axle assembly is 3 more pounds.
That's 7 pounds.
So we're already
right
at
there.
7 pounds with no wheels, tires, body, speed control, battery, all of the extra stuff. I'm thinking closer to 14 pounds. So if you guide us to the Zon and we buy anything through your link, you get the kickback? Yes. This is exactly how that works. The Zon. A to Z, man. Straight to the Zon. Now I really forgot what I was doing. I also forgot what page I'm on. Because I had to leaf back like 12 pages. Okay. Ooh, we get to put the bumper on next. I don't know about you, but I'm excited. Okay, I have to turn it upside down or I'm going to bolt everything on wrong. Because it's having me do it upside down. My brain is lessening in sophistication with each passing minute.
Just turn the manual upside down.
Oh, he's right. I could have just turned the manual upside down. Still not heavy enough to run in jar red. True. Is the truck pre-painted? It is absolutely not. Oliver, I use a material called Universal Bonding Primer, UBP. You put it on in very thin coats, and you can. I'm losing tips. You can paint just about anything with it. It will make anything paintable. Anything that you see olive drab started as like a natural color styrene. I don't think I have anything that's unpainted. These parts were gray, molded in gray styrene, but it's pretty much painted throughout. Oh, maybe the bottom? Yeah. So these started off this kind of like dove gray. Some of the parts were black styrene. These were just the like natural, it's kind of a yellowish color styrene. An entire can of Universal Bonding Primer and about 1 1/4 cans of, and I'm not talking, we're not talking Tamiya. Oh, it's outside. So, this isn't the color, but 1 1/4 cans this size is what went on to this. And there are parts that I missed, but I'm going to do weathering and patina on it, so it's fine. So some will be done by hand, some will be done with the airbrush. But no, it comes gray and uncolored, kind of like the color of natural Garolite of G10. It's kind of that yellowish color. And then some of, like these little pieces that go inside the bed, these were black. All these little bits are gray. These were gray because they came off of sprue trees. But no, you have to paint, and you can see in the edges where I didn't quite get it. But yeah, it's happy time. It's happy times, and we're gonna get this thing. I will all but certainly get, well, the other axle that goes bumper, and then we're slapping the other axle on. Which should I have put hangers on it? No, they just bolt on. Oh, right. It has those stops. These are supposed to go through like that. And, I mean, I guess we can try hitting them with a heat gun. These are rubber, really heavy-duty rubber. We can try pressing these through. There was nothing I could do to get those through those holes. It would not go. I'm just guessing that maybe getting them hot, we can maybe get them through. A lot of work. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It is a model kit that also happens to have a remote control component. Things to be thankful for. When you get the HC6 kit out of the box, the axles come pre-assembled, the gearbox comes pre-assembled. If I had to assemble that stuff, whee. Now, for right now, I am going to find the horn. I just saw the servo horn. We're just going to use the servo horn that came with it. That will not be the forever servo horn. Unless we can't find the forever servo horn, in which case we'll get a different servo. They basically just give you the same sprue tree 4 times. So I was hoping to find 4 servo horns. There's the electronics and the lights. There's the stuff for the chain and rope. I don't see a servo. It's 24 millimeter eye to eye, so I don't really need to keep looking for it. I can use any servo horn because 24 eye to eye is where we're going to be. Just give me a black one. TFRC one on there. This one's lightly used. It's lightly used. Butter the rubber bits. Put the little nipples through the holes for the rubber. Put some of that patina grease on it. Oh, did I miss a 5? Thank you to whoever threw down 5. Driver 8, thank you for throwing down 5. Butter them. All right, I'll give it a try. I barely want to paint a polycarbonate body, let alone build a cross or an RC four-wheel drive. My dyno brain can't handle all the nonsense. Yeah, this is really not I wouldn't start here. This is a place where you can end. But I wouldn't recommend anybody start here.
I'll be done.
Because you'll be like, I'm done. This is ridiculous.
Well, there was that guy who started off building.
Yeah, he started with a GOM, which is ridiculous.
That was the ridiculous build.
I got to turn it upside down. I can't decipher what they're trying to say. Right side up. My brain won't turn it over. Okay, I got it now. What size screw is that? Illuminate. 14.
So it just gives you a part number for the screw, and you have to go see what the part number is.
Is it going to have a go at green line? After I sent that servo out to you, I immediately bought another as a spare. I officially have a problem. Yes! I think the UPS tires are actually going to show up today, supposedly after delivery. Yeah, I think I have 3. I should have like 3 boxes.
Out there?
They're all supposed to come today, but last time I got delivery from UPS, it was at like 7 o'clock at night. I don't know why I'm worried particularly about getting this. Oh, no, it's not tremendously centered, but it's not bad. I've definitely seen worse. I can reconfigure. It's pretty clever. They put a little bend in it to clear the leaf. I support it. I am not venturing deeper into the scale world. You are mistaken, Mr. Durden. This is Shaker MT's HC6, which he said, would you be interested in building one of these? And having no idea what I was getting myself into, I said, sure, I'd love to build that. According to UPS, you live at the end of the street. I do. I feel like I'm the last house in the whole town. Oh my God. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. So, these little silvery guys are travel stops for the knuckle. That is full steering throw. Would you say that's even 25 degrees? That might be the shallowest. Ooh, I shouldn't have been putting pressure on that. That might be the shallowest steer angle I've ever seen. Oh, wow. The servo throw to one side is double the throw to the other. This is instant regret for agreeing. Proper scale turning radius. Yes, indeed. You're going to be doing some 5 points in this thing. It needs the thing to go boop, boop, boop when it backs up. I've been making progress on my leaf build. Chassis rolls are cut and springs are mounted. I think it's going to work out pretty well. Just need to design and print the skid, chassis braces, etc. Yes, yes. Motorized model confirmed, 100%. Oh, and Chuck has glued up his dirt tracks and glued them. Yeah. I don't know what it was. I think I got too caught up in it. And when I did the test on the tire, when I pulled them out, I think I set them in the bead locks before the glue was dry. So they kind of glued to the bead lock. So when I pulled the bead lock out, it just tore the tire again. That was really the set of tires that kind of convinced me, don't try to bake dirt tracks off the rim. You won't like it. M2 by 6 by 8. That is 11202. Are they in that one little bag? No. 11202. Oh, they come in the bag. Oh, take that. Six-wheel steer is a great idea. Not on this. This is scale stuff. You're not going to meaningfully try to improve the performance of this in any way because it's not going to work. The Cross HC6 is the Cross HC6. You build this for the same reason you build an RC tank, because it's cool. 35 for a set of showdowns, and they're still on the plastic wheels. Not worth getting. Unless you're going to run them on the plastic wheels, I would not recommend it. They employ the most powerful glue wizards in all the realm, and I have never successfully gotten all 4 Durtrex wheels off of the rims without some sort of catastrophe. Like, we're getting it so hot that the rim actually melts. Somebody might try the acetone method. Put acetone in the bottom of a 5-gallon bucket, put the wheel up on a brick, cover it, and leave it there for a week. The acetone will fume it off. You can try that. But I get them all. I get a set off in 20 minutes. So I lack the patience. This is just truth. This is true things being said. I'm converting my TRX4 to a 6x6. The cab from the Cross would fit well. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. It is a hard body. You can get a reasonably close cab in polycarbonate from AliExpress. Sputter Crawler sent one in. It's still in here somewhere. I bought an RC 4-wheel drive RTR Leaf rig, drove it for 1 day, 1 battery pack. I sold it the next day, and a very high markdown from what I paid for it just to get rid of it. You should have given it a little longer. They kind of grow on you. They kind of grow on you. Durtrex wheels glued better than Traxxas? Yes. I don't know if it's the glue. I don't know if it's the material the wheels are made out of. I don't know what it is. But they do not want to detach. You made a mess with the beads on 2 of the 4 canyon trails. I didn't bake those off. Those were here. Somebody sent those in. Half the canyon trails here were sent in because people don't know what's good. If people are going to offer to send in canyon trails, I'm going to take them. Yeah, one of those was carved up pretty good. I don't want to toot a horn, but when I remove them, they look like this. Because I've really got the heat gun / BSI uncure down to kind of a science now. I just got a set of 22s off, the ones that are on Nigel, and they are the cleanest, the most cleanly removed set of 22s I've done to date. And I still have another set in the cabinet that needs done, but doesn't need done urgently. So, any plans to work on that Lone Ranger? It's in the queue. It's in the queue. There's a Zoku chassis build with the Toyota on it. There's Sputter Crawler's F100 build down here. There's the chassis that came in from the UK. There's the BRX02. There's the Lone Ranger. There's the Kit Crawlers. There's a 10 Pro chassis in there. There's Chuck Hurley's. It came from the workbench. That's being worked on. There's the chassis I need to build for the Jeep. Yeah. And they are not going to be done in any particular order. They get done when they get done. It's if I feel like working on that one on that day, that's the one I feel like working on because that's how stuff gets done. If I schedule it out, once it's on the whiteboard, it's on the whiteboard. And the whiteboard does say, okay, over here we've got, it came from the workbench. And under the it came from the workbench heading, it says 47.2, 42.2, Lone Ranger, BRX02, Finish Wizard number 2. SCX10 Pro number 4 kick crawler. And then underneath that double underlined, it says paint cross. So I do have one thing that I can erase off of the board today. Are the LP Megalithic going to jump in the video queue when you get them? 100%. They are going to leapfrog. They will be up on I will try to shoot for like Mondays. My most viewed days are Sundays and Mondays. Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays are my most viewed. So if they get here in time and I can get them prepped to film a video, I would try to get them up as soon as this Monday. You got to strike while the iron is hot, because I don't know if because of pre-release there's any kind of embargo on reviews of them, but nobody paid me nothing, so I can say whatever I want, and I will.
Yeah.
11205 M3 by 6 by 4. This should go. What? Oh. Okay. See, it's upside down. It's upside down, so I was like, that doesn't look right. The directions are somewhat confounding. So what you're saying is you're not busy at all. Not busy at all. Oh, Organized Chaos, the temper. We have arrived at a problem with the temper, which I do not explicitly know how to correct. I mounted the UTB-18 gearbox. It mounts to the skid fairly easily. But the outputs on the UTB-18 gearbox are 3.5 millimeter. So I turned a little adapter hat to fit the existing drive shaft. The hole in the existing drive shaft is way too far forward. There is no way that drive shaft, which attaches easily to a TRX4 axle, there is no way that drive shaft will attach to a UTB-18 gearbox. So what we have to do is we have to come up with some sort of a method to fabricate a gender-changing drive shaft that is 3.5 millimeters on one side and 5 millimeters on the other side. Because that's the only way a UTB-18 box is going to drive those TRX4 axles. The only other option is go opt for a different gearbox. And I don't know how many gearboxes are out there that are small enough to fit a Fusion Mini,
What about like an
but also have a 5 millimeter output. OD3 is enormous compared to a temper. Gigantic. Will not fit in between the rails at all. So I need to help source parts and or send money. I mean, if you send money, I don't know what to buy with it. So I don't know how to go 3.5 at this end and 5 millimeter at this end. If now I will admit, HVA, Mr. Spain, as he says, one of those tiny gearboxes, those tiny LCG boxes are enormous compared to a UTB-18 box. Wait, visuals. Visuals. Let me get a little one. So this one is the little ultralight. This is one of the tiny little ones. This is the UTB-18 box with the motor installed. Like, you could maybe, but the motor faces the wrong way. And if I flip it around here, the drive shafts are... I might be able to make this work. We might... I don't know. Yeesh. We might be able to get that in there. Maybe. Oh, yeah, see. Oh, no. I made a little hat to go on this guy to size it up. Look how close that hole is. No drive shaft is going to have a pinhole far enough back other than a UTB-18 drive shaft, which is going to be 3.5 on both ends. So then what do we do on the other end? I don't know if we're going to be able to drill it out to 5, but I haven't tried it. I also haven't really looked at a UTB-18 drive shaft to see how big is the end on a UTB-18 drive shaft. Is there enough meat in it where I can drill that thing out to 5 millimeters? Because if so, Bish Bosh Bob's your uncle, we just slap it on there. Does Hommywing sell an adapter plate for the Fusion Mini? Yes, they do. I also made one. I have one here. It took like 10 minutes. Or different axles. I mean, do you really want to change the axles? Off topic. What would be the ultimate build? Capo Queen, Vanquish All Metal, or your fit of scratching, or anything? Like ultimate for what? Like what is your determination of ultimate? What makes it ultimate? Like the ultimate level of performance for the expenditure? The ultimate just blinged out, like $3,000 worth of Vidavon. Like I don't know what classifies as ultimate. To me, ultimate would fall into one of two camps. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and all you want to do is throw money at it, or it is the most performing, unstoppable, absolute expression of the crawler's paradox. And that could be built out of almost anything. I think that the ultimate build is the most bespoke one you can make. You can make something that only you have. A Ripper or an Origin, great. Oh, look at you. You got your limited edition. They only made a couple of these. Then you always in the back of your head know that there's like 500 of them out there. I have Ratchet here. No one else will ever have that. You can thank Irwin for that because he opted for me not to send it out. I made the chassis, the gearbox, the geometry, the links, the layout, all of it. You can't have it. Same thing with RoboKitty. Same thing with Jake the Snake. You can build one like Jake the Snake, but it won't be Jake the Snake. So when it comes to ultimate for me, it's building that which cannot be bought. Just buying pieces and slapping them together, sometimes that's great. I love it, right? But for me, the experience of it is when you start making it yours. And if that is what I do with things, where I start making parts and making pieces for it, then that's what I love the most. Sometimes I get that itch and I just want to cut my own rails. And sometimes I just want to buy a Mias Gold Rush and some nylons and just slap it together, you know? Build a whole rig start to finish in 3 hours. That AliExpress build, 9 hours. 9 hours in one sitting to get that thing into an operating state. And since that first installment, I've probably put another 9 hours into it. And now we sort of have me and that rig have a kind of antagonistic relationship. We kind of don't like each other. He's not cooperative with me. I refuse to give up under any other circumstances, and I double down on it now. I said when I was building it, if you're going to build one of these, don't. Buy it and use it for the parts. Because none of the parts really fit. They just don't fit. And I just keep going headlong into it. All right. So you guys tell me that if I grease the nipples, I can just punch it in. Now, there it is. I wanted to make sure I found all 4 bump stops. So, an unsettling bond. Yes.
Can you use the drill press as a press?
Do you build the gears yourself too? No, God no. What are you, crazy?
Not a machinist.
No, you buy hardened pinions and you just build your gearbox around hardened pinions. Mod 1 pinions. They will never, ever die. Any chance to get RoboKitty on Wheel on Wednesdays? Ooh. I mean, it could. Take RoboKitty out and drive it. It goes pretty fast. It's pretty stupid. You know what? I wouldn't rule it out. I would take RoboKitty out on Wednesday, especially as I just put a Fusion 8 in RoboKitty and haven't driven it since I put a Fusion 8 in it. It will have to be definitely when it's more dry, though, because RoboKitty is on just open cell single stage foams with 4 vent holes punched in each tire.
Waterproof
And
transmission.
yeah, the water that transmission doesn't even have sides on it, so it's just wide open. Wasn't it a Canyon innovation to make a giant brass cylinder into a bumper? No, not brass, but in fitting with his theme, Rusty's bumper is just 5/16 steel bar with the ends rounded off. And that bumper right there is how I successfully bent a TRX4 chassis. His chassis was bent pretty badly. And I took him completely apart one day and I straightened his rails in a vise and then put him back together. So Rusty had an undocumented spa day because I did it. I created the problem for myself. And then let's not forget, Bruce's bumper was just welded together out of steel angle and tube and weighs a full pound. But it helps because the stock weight distribution on the FJ40 is diabolical. He is like 65% rear weight. Have you done a quick view of the 8? Nope. My 1-of-1 2.2 aluminum wheels that I had cut from my Tsunami are my favorite. They're my ultimate. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
101.
We're building a cross HC6. And, so, do I grease the nibbins? Or do I grease the hole? No, the Lord is not tan. The Lord is gray. What does chat say? I mean, I'm just going to hold it here. That's gray. Is that gray? That's gray, right? That's gray. That's not tan. That's gray. Like, I put the Zool too far away. But the Zool is tan. Well, the Zool is flesh color. This is... Oh, I thought you turned down brass. Oh, yeah. Madam Mim, that's just a rear weight. But yeah, it is just a big chunk of half-inch brass. I need a bumper like that in mid-build. Oh, you just want a... that bumper I can do. I can build you a 5/16" square steel bumper in about 5 minutes. Taupe. Warm gray. I would go as far as to say that the stock color of the Lord is gray with a couple drops of tan swirled into it. Do you think you could build something custom that uses 4.19 tires that you'd enjoy rock crawling with? I hope so, because I'm not going to build something full custom. It's going to be a little bit of a collaboration. JP Wirt from the far-off mythical land of Oklahoma, he sent me a chassis that he had worked for Class 1 operations, and I'm going to put a Killer Bodies LC70 on it, and it is unquestionably going to have Class 1 tires on it. And dear, sweet, infant baby Jesus in a smoking birch bark canoe, I hope that I like driving it. I really do. What's the difference in size between aftermarket driver shafts that are keyed for the UTB 19 and the TRX4? The UTB 18 are 3.5 millimeter outputs, and the TRX4 are 5 millimeter. Okay. So I will note that down mentally, Mr. Hurley, that you would like a big wampum steel bumper. 6x6 with a slight weight problem? Yes, this is a very slight weight problem here. Okay, so let's try it this way. Okay. So you said grease it up. HPI makes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for their RS4 minis. They're 48 pitch and the right shaft diameter for the Mini 16. That is really good to know. That's really good to know. The only ones I have on hand here are 10s and 12s. The pinions for the Traxxas Latrax stuff are the same. I have a 10 and a 12. I just unbagged one. I think that's the one that's on there. You can see it. You can see it from the end. That's a Latrax one right there, and they are dirt cheap. Like dirt cheap. I don't know if I got my mesh very good. It looks okay. All right, here we go. Even pressure. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. That's not going. Ah, not the pinion size, the slide parts that are in the shaft of the drive shaft. Oh, I have no idea. Do you think an 8-tooth will fit? Let's see. Well, that's the thing. We wouldn't need an 8-tooth on this. If anything, we would need bigger because we're piping this into TRX4 axles, which are like 8-to-1 at the axle. So we have a lot of gear reduction. The 3000, even on 3S, might speed it up. We were having the problem of the thing going way too slow. I can tell that the cross is drab green. Yes, it is. I have 5 one-of-one rigs. I have 2 more that have been made mine more than their own. Yeah. Pull it from the bottom. It doesn't get through the rail. Like it never actually pokes through the other side. And it doesn't feel like I'm even getting close. Put a little heat on that part and it will go in. Okay, well that was what I wanted to try. Which I have to do over here. I don't even know where to plug it in over there.
Can you use the drill press as a press?
No, like I'm leaning on it as hard as I can.
Nah.
I'm not really going to generate any more pressure. And it's rubber.
Nah.
So it's just going to bend.
Okay.
Okay, so this is heat gun and grease.
Can you make the hole a little bigger?
Then they're just going to fall out.
No. Okay. I was just putting ideas out there.
Okay, I saw the grease bubble. So that means it's hot. Okay, I pushed on that as hard as I could, and that will not go into that hole. Period. If someone else has done it successfully, by God, bless you for what you have done. I've been trying this. This is the stuff that I don't like. That is a 3.5 millimeter rubber trying to push it through a 2.8 millimeter hole.
Yeah. That ain't going in.
That is 20% oversized. I went a step higher than spitting on it. I put CV joint grease on it.
Spit on it.
I don't know how they anticipate that you're going to do this. The only thing I can think at this juncture, because this is 3.5, yeah, the little neck is 2.7. So like they have a little step in them. See the little step? The step is actually like 2.6 millimeters. So it steps down almost a millimeter. I could conceivably drill the hole out to bigger than 2.8. Because it's either they fall out or they never go in. You can pull it through with pliers. How? What?
Nothing pokes through the other side
What
of the hole.
plier are you going to get through a 2.8 millimeter hole? You can't get any of this through the hole. I can't. It doesn't come through the hole.
Can you put it on the lathe and put a little taper on the rubber? Or is there not enough to do that?
There is. Well, it's rubber.
Yeah. So when
Well, A, you can't chuck this in a lathe. That's 2 pins on it.
Okay.
I'm not small. And I am. Oh, can you pull it through with pliers? No. The rail is thicker than like. All right. Baby steps. How do you know if you get one of those free memberships? Just curious. You'll get an email, and your name will turn green. Rubber is different from metal. If you want it stiff, colder is better. I don't know if I want it stiffer or softer. Hey-oh! When all else fails. Okay, they were 2.8, and now those are 3. Didn't really help. I have drills in every increment. Because now we're trying to shove 3.5 through a 3mm hole. Let's try super lube. We haven't tried it, you know. At this point, I'll try everything. Silicone grease and squeeze with pliers. That's where we're going next, is silicone. Okay. Little super lube action. When all else fails, fire! Come on, super lube. Come on, super lube. Not a chance in hell.
.1 bigger.
0.1 bigger. I know I've got some 3.1s. 3.2. 3.1. I just want to make my rear stiffer, and the only good options for the springs for the 10 Pro are coming. The kit is $100. Such shocks. No, you can fit. You don't have to use 10 Pro springs. You can use but you know what? Who said sledgehammer? I have something unlike a sledgehammer. Before I drill it anymore.
Auto punch.
Okay. So we've still got that one at 3mm. This might be able to generate a little more force than I do. No. If that ain't gonna do it, that ain't gonna do it. How would a Chinaman do it? I don't know.
They only designed it. They never put it together.
All right. 3.1mm up from 2.8. A little more silicone on there. I'm having the best time, honestly. So, Mr. Nod, what we're working with are these little travel stops. and they have some little wiener head shapes on them. And they're made of rubber, like a hard rubber. And I've been trying for several months to get them pressed into these holes in the chassis. And as of this moment, we have drilled these out from 2.8 millimeter to 3.1 millimeter. I've tried pressing them in with a bar clamp. That doesn't work. We've tried lubricating them. We've tried heating them up. This is not a matter of you can't grab it because you're inside a C channel, and the C channel is a good 2 millimeters thick. The rubber never goes through to where you can actually grab anything. You would have to find some sort of tweezer or plier that could fit inside of a 3 millimeter hole and then grab a 3.5 millimeter object and pull it through that 3 millimeter hole. And so far as I know, by my estimation, that is not a thing that exists. So I'm just going to keep drilling them out because we're at the point of nothing to lose at this point. Because if they don't fit, they don't fit. We'll just have 3.2 millimeter holes instead of 2.8 millimeter holes. And everything else will be equal.
Fall out, use some super glue.
Because I have drilled these out to 3.2 millimeters and I still can't get these through. With silicone lube on them. And I am pushing as hard as I physically can. And I've picked up stone blocks that weigh more than I do. So I feel like I've got a little bit. Come on, you piece of crap. I mean, that's a bar clamp, which can only apply a couple 100 pounds of force. Actually, this is probably about 80 pounds. Tie fishing line around the wiener head, and then pull the line through the hole and pull with all your might. What? You don't have 3 millimeter pliers? What's your favorite lube for gears? You can't see it. It's behind his head. Stay Lube CV joint grease. You can get a tube of it on Amazon for about $11. Drill out and then CA glue once went in. That's where we're getting. I do have, like I said, I have a full drill assortment. We've drilled out to 3.2. The next step is 3.3. And at that point, the head of the wiener is 3.5. If we can't get 3.5 through 3.3, I think all hope is lost. As you can tell, these are some brand new ass drill bits.
Oh, you drill 3.2 holes.
It still doesn't want to go. My arms are going to be all tired from this.
And your fingers.
So they wanted me to press this through a hole 0.5 millimeter smaller than the hole that's on here now. That was not going to happen. God, no. What, are you joking? Have you been here for the last 20 minutes that I've been trying to press this thing in?
I'm blind!
Color blind, shape blind, size blind.
Can't see what you're doing. There's shit in the way.
I can't go any... I cannot drill this out any more than this. Note to self, do not build an HC6.
Just be prepared to suffer.
Yeah, the HC6 comes with suffering. Okay, that actually felt like it almost passed for a second.
Penetrated a bit.
I felt it dip, maybe. it gets under so much tension.
It's popped out.
The thing about the cord tied through it and pulling through, I can almost guarantee that will just sever the head right off the wiener. It will just garrote the end of it off. Because any thread or cord that I tie on this has to be so small.
Well, now, on the bottom of the clamp, can you space it down from the... so that you can actually get it all the way in? Like put a nut or something.
Now, why didn't they just make these attached with bolts? That's the real question. Okay. I have this clamped down full strength. You go like this. We're like it's not falling out, but it ain't in either. I love a direction that tells you to perform an action with no idea of how that action is supposed to be completed. It's just like, put these in. Yeah. Now, I think it might have enough for me to grab it from the other side. And pressing it in basically cut both of the wieners off. Both of them are basically torn 80% of the way through. If I pushed on that with any amount of force, it would just tear them off. There's nothing holding that on. This is how I wanted to spend half an hour. You know what I get to do after this? I get to drink a coffee drink, which is pretty great. Then after that, I get to uninstall a dishwasher and install a new dishwasher. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. It's already great. It was absolutely great until I got up to these bump stops. Yeah, it still won't. It will not go. No matter how much you lean on it. I'm going to try heat again. It's so hot. So hot. Unbelievable.
Now, is there enough surface to clamp the bump stop? Put a hole in it, or no? And just screw it in from the... Well, if you can, screw it in from the C-ring.
I thought for a split second there was some light. But I think that light was just the oncoming train. At this point, I would have thrown this into a ravine. It's not happening. It's not happening. Murdered one. The other one will not go. So be it. 3 by 14 by 4. I said I was going to get the axle on, and I'm going to get the axle on. RC Crawling Addict, is Hugo still here? Did he fall asleep?
You go out for more tapas.
If Hugo's still here, put RC Crawling Addict on a 10-minute timeout. Send him to the Shadow Realm. If half an hour is an option, send him to the half-hour Shadow Realm, because we'll be done by then. Whatever options you have, use those. You've been banhammered. Nah, 10 minutes is fine. I don't think that aside from some degree of scale accuracy, I don't think that a lack of bump stops are really going to make a difference. Yeah, Driver 8 does make a good point. On the bright side, there aren't any links to worry about. That is true. I will take some solace in that. And I said that we were going to, if we did nothing else, we were going to get a stupid axle on this stupid thing, and we're going to do it. It's going to happen. Nobody can stop me. But you know, frickin' scale life. Cut off the nubbins, drill the bump stops, and make some alignment pins and glue it together. Yeah. Rants and banishment. Yeah. I'm in an emotionally fragile state right now because I had blissfully forgotten about the dishwasher debacle. The Samsung, and you all know how I felt about the Samsung dishwasher. I've definitely mentioned it before. The Samsung dishwasher died in the middle of the load. Just died. So it's full of that soup in the bottom of it. And that means that the whole drain hose is full of that soup. All the apparatus. So I've got to get that thing pumped, drained. And usually the way you do that is you take a big syringe. I have these big syringes that I used to use for the tubeless sealant in tires. You suck it up, squirt it in the sink. So we got to drain getting that garbage box Samsung out of the house is going to take an hour and a half. And then installing my brand new LG is going to take 20 minutes. So we can go a little higher than that. It probably has food in it. Oh yeah. No. The funk
definitely has food in it.
It always has food in it. The Samsung was designed by a masochist where the rinse water from the previous load is used as the pre-rinse water for the next load. So it just leaves this stank in the bottom of it, which I referred to as, imagine a sweaty, dirty foot stuck in an ass. And that's kind of what the Samsung, the $800 dishwasher, which lasted about 6 years, I think, and then just spontaneously died. Zero response from any buttons. Just died in the middle of a load. And honestly, maybe it came unplugged underneath. Maybe a rat dug up through the floor and ate the cord. I don't care. I needed no excuse to replace that Samsung. As soon as the wife was like, this thing looks weird, I went on the web, I went on the internet, and I ordered a new dishwasher. And they delivered it about 45 seconds before the live stream started. That's horrible. Yeah. The Samsung is not a smart design, and it never really did a tremendous job of cleaning dishes. And I didn't know about Samsung at that time. I didn't know. It has a little reservoir for the like jet dry stuff. The the like stuff that makes your dishes not have spots on them, like won't get spots on the glasses. Yeah, you're supposed to dry clean. It's like no rinse, basically. The reservoir in there holds 1 wash worth of jet dry in it. So what is the point? Why do you even have a reservoir? So I went on Lowe's. Have you watched the Technology Connections video about dishwashers? I have not. Does it tell me all sorts of terrible things that I don't want to know? Because that will make me want to watch it more. Because my LG is sitting out there in a box right now. And it has something in it called Quad Wash, which sounded enough like the Fifth Element's Auto Wash. If it said that it had Auto Wash, I would have bought an even more expensive model. But they got me the same way they always get me, which is that washing machine was $500 off. And Jeff at the temple with the hot one. Jet dry is a lie. You know what? I have no reason to argue with you, because the stupid washer, the Samsung that is, only held 1 load worth of jet dry, so I never remembered to put any jet dry in it. I have a manual dishwasher. It works when I can be bothered. My mother-in-law was an outright a dishwasher denier for nearly 80 years of her life. And then they got a kitchen remodel quite recently. And she was like, the one daughter was like, do you want to put a dishwasher in there? And she was like, I mean, if we have the room. And man, I tell you what, that woman loves a dishwasher. She loves that dishwasher now. Why would you put nuts on the insides of these? Why would you do that? When I get done assembling this, presuming that it doesn't kill me, I'm going to find a giant bag of black lock nuts somewhere. All right. Did I assemble this thing correctly? I did. You know what? I'm committed. There is not enough room to get this screw into that hole, because that hole is behind the leaf spring stack. So to get this screw in, I'm going to have to unbolt the whole leaf spring stack. And this time, I didn't build it out of order. Let me see. Can I? Maybe I can. Yeah, it's a like a glove. I did save $500 by buying it. Now I'm hoping it works out for you, but LG is basically the same as Samsung. That's just patently untrue, at least when it comes to any other electronics that I've dealt with.
The washers and dryers are decent.
I have an LG washer and dryer. LG TV, LG monitors. LG, is this red car level of frustration? No. When you build this, you have a completely different anticipation. These kind of frustrations are anticipated. It is very much like RC four-wheel drive. It's much more like RC four-wheel drive. If you've ever built an RC four-wheel drive, you know what is meant. They do things that are just huge, blinking neon question marks. You're like, why would anyone do this? And they do it. At least this thing is on C-channel rails, whereas RC four-wheel drive uses solid rails with slots machined in them. Oh, that's kind of the first time I've picked it up fully axled. It is a stout boy. Yeah, those just make it. They leave little tunneled grooves. My dishwasher came with a name. Whoa! Somebody must not be in earshot. This is too reminiscent of that Key and Peele sketch. But you said it, though. You actually said it. I would be the one doing the dishes, and I don't really care for doing dishes that much.
Takes too long.
It takes too long.
Put them in a dishwasher.
You have to stick your hands in muck water a lot. And I already have to do things like clean out RC boats and silicone inserts after we drive in rivers and creeks of questionable water. So I stick my hands in enough muck. I don't want to add any more. I'll just buy a machine on the internet. It is already a thing. I said I was going to at least get that axle on, and I did. Oh, drive shaft. Second drive shaft. That's real smooth. I'll give him that. Is the unsprung to sprung ratio going to be even close? No. No. The amount of weight below the leaves on this thing is negligible. You could put the heaviest wheels you could conceive of on here and still not get close. This thing is, this has got to be 80-20. The only thing that's universal across the board for large home appliances are ice makers and refrigerators. They break immediately after the warranty ends. Yeah, hunk of love, when we got our, we were Whirlpool people forever. So we had a Whirlpool refrigerator that lasted probably close to 20 years. And then it went and we got a new Whirlpool refrigerator, which basically just looked like the old one. And we had to put in, and the ice maker broke within a week. And we had it replaced, and that one lasted a month. And then that one broke. And then I replaced that one, and then that one lasted for several years. And then that one broke. And when I replaced it, the ice maker never came back on because there's something wrong with the solenoid, so it just doesn't make ice anymore. So as of a couple years ago, we have a handful of ice cube trays in the freezer, and we make ice like it's the 1970s again. And I just don't drink beverages with ice in it anymore. Yeah, me and Jerry the Raccoon. Ice tray in the freezer will never fail you. I do. If they hit me with the right price on one of those countertop ice makers, I'll consider it.
Yeah, but most of those aren't refrigerated.
The refrigerated ones cost like $500. Or you get the GE one that makes the crunchy ice, the like chewable ice. And that one, as the ice melts, it just recycles the water back and freezes it again. So it just constantly makes ice all day. Now, I've been drinking, it's right here. It's constantly out of frame. I've been just drinking water out of a bottle this whole time.
Yeah.
And much like I guess how Europeans work, I've gotten used to just drinking room temperature water. Mm-hmm. My parents were Maytag people back when Maytag made absolute units. They had a freezer that lasted over 40 years. Yeah, I believe it. We are on, since my wife and I have been together, we got married in 1992, right? Between 1992 and now, we have had 2 refrigerators, and this is our 3rd washer and dryer in 30 plus years. Our first one was one of those slim twin, you can have ice in your shop. Oh, Sofa King. Damn it. Damn it. That's like the best thing I've ever heard.
You have a refrigerator.
She will not let me have a mini fridge out here.
What do you think you need an ice maker?
We just bought a new stove because it was pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of appliances are buying.
I've been looking at a countertop ice maker for like a month now. I've been looking at those countertop ice makers for like 2, since the ice maker died. I'm like, I'm not going to go through the work. Oh my God, that refrigerator. Let me tell you how appliances work as a human. The ice maker broke. One of the doors in the fridge just, like the tabs just broke off, right? So I went on the internet, and if you go to these like appliance part out houses, they're cheap as hell. So I bought like a $10 little tray that goes in the door. Boom, replaced. Then one in the freezer broke off the door. That one was like $16. Replaced that. One day, I go to open one of the little pull-out drawers. There's 2 drawers in the bottom of the freezer. I go to pull the drawer out. The whole face just comes off the drawer. I look up the drawer on the internet. It's $140 for a drawer that goes in the freezer. And I'm like, hell no. Now, the whole time this is going on, the ice maker's already been broken. So it already has no ice maker in it. It still has a water dispenser, but I don't use that because we got that water softening system put in, which if I had known, I never would have bought. Ever. Less than 2 weeks ago, we can hear gurgling water outside. I'm like, that's weird. So I go outside and it's making gurgling water noises, and it's the overflow valve for the whole house water filtration system. I go over to the water filtration system, I push a button, it says something motor error. This is, of course, on a Friday. So it gurgles for 2 days. Then I finally get a hold of the people behind the water system, and they're like, oh yeah, the motor's broken. Here's what you do to turn it off. I turn it off. I wait 5 days for a guy to come out and work on it. So we've been 5 days without the water filtration. They have to replace the motor in it, which is all lifetime warranty, but you get to pay the $145 labor service charge. So it's not really a lifetime warranty, is it? And then last year, I had to have the under-counter reverse osmosis filtration system get its servicing of whatever, where they changed the filters and whatever, because the water had gone down to a trickle of nothing. $500 to service that water thing. And he says, yeah, we'll have to do this about every 5 years. And I was like...
It lasted less than a year.
I was like, if you had told me any of this prior to purchasing it, I never would have purchased it. I got rooked. Now, I didn't get fully rooked because it does work. It softens the water. I have one of those little sink dispensers that travels me back in time to my grandmother, to going to my grandmother's house, and she had one of those whole house soft water systems because she lived in Huntington Beach, and the water that comes out of the tap in Huntington Beach, California, is all reclaimed. So it tastes like you're drinking directly out of a swimming pool. It is disgusting. It is what they call potable. It is drinkable. End of. It's disgusting. So I got hooked on that water. That water feels smooth in your mouth. And that's the water I have now. That's the water that's in this bottle. This Avion bottle hasn't had Avion in probably 2 years. This water bottle expires 5/11/2025. This bottle expires in 2 days. But it's been refilled like 800 times. And that's high quality H2O. So, I mean, if I had known, I would have gone a different route. Do I regret it? I don't regret how good the water is. I regret that it has about the same level of maintenance expenditure as owning a damn car. I spend about as much in a year on that stupid water filtration system as I do on a car. And when it comes to stuff like nonsensical toy car nonsense, I've started to view everything in rig cost. Like, how many rigs is this going to cost me? So when it costs $500 to service the reverse osmosis system, I'm like, well, that's a whole build. Could have built a whole build. 6 pounds, basically dead. 6.04. Let's just do this. Watch, let's. 7.4. 7.9. 8.1. 8.25. Ooh, this piece is heavy. Now we're playing that, like, where you just balance things. 8.43. 8.56. And there's still a bunch of plastic pieces over here. So, yeah, I'm going to say probably 12. It's going to be in that 12-pound range. Oh, battery. Speed control. 12 to 14 pounds is where we're going to end up. My water comes from 200 feet below ground and is crystal clear and beautiful and smells wonderful and tastes wonderful.
Where do you live?
Swampers is got to be in the south. It's somewhere in the south for sure. I will not deal with your humidity
Yes.
for good water. I will buy a filtration system. It did cost $9,000. Sneaky.
Sneaky man.
Yeah, apparently where we are, we're only about 80 feet above the aquifer. But because this is California, and in California, I don't know if y'all know, but in California, you're not allowed to do anything.
LA has to get us water shipped in from an aqueduct from north.
Yeah. So could you hire somebody to come out here and drill you a well down into the aquifer? I doubt it.
I'm sure you can.
The helicopter would probably they'd probably fine you or something. Yeah, that's yeah, I knew what you meant. 9,000 was for the well. I don't even think you could have a well drilled here. Basically, they require you on any new build to attach your house to the sewer
and put solar panels on it.
And put solar panels on your house and fire sprinklers inside your house. Mm-hmm. I don't think of bills in number of RCs because I have an RC storage facility with living quarters. Yeah. In California, don't look at that tree. Don't even look at that tree. Did you accidentally cut down a tree? You better plant 5 trees. We're not going to pay for it either. You're going to pay for it and you're going to plant them. We're not going to give you anything for it, but you're going to do it. And if you don't do it, we're going to penalize you somehow. We haven't figured out how to do it. I get good water out of my well, but I do keep an eye on where the neighbor's dog pees. Now, see, the municipal water in this area is pulled from wellheads that are down in San Bernardino, most of which are irradiated. So they're pulling up irradiated water, which is part of my unproven and destined to never be proven theory as to why you and your whole lot end up getting some kind of cancer that kills you.
That's how I got my tumor, from drinking water.
That's how you got your tumor, is you lived in a house where you drank cancer water.
Well, I did. I live right next to the Air Force Base.
And he lived right next to an Air Force base where they're going to be pumping stuff out of the ground. Does anyone make a good kit of screws, fasteners that will cover most jobs versus buying individual bags of everything? My best recommendation to people is when starting out, go on Jenny's and buy a couple bags of the takeoff hardware from TRX4s and TRX6s and stuff like that, because there's basically no throwaway stuff except for the wheel hexes. Everything else you'll use, it comes with body clips and screws and nuts and all usable common sizes. But you cannot beat the economy of buying 100 bags. Like, the only way to assemble something like this is by doing it with 100 bags. And I understand most people, yeah, Jenny's RC, most people aren't going to need this, but
it is nice to have.
This is one of like 10 of these. And at some point, like, here's the stainless bin. Eventually, a lot of people will end up this way. Now, that said, the Traxxas sells that screw kit for a TRX4. It's $40. That is overpriced.
The bag from Jenny's is like $8 or $9.
No, they have a full stainless screw kit.
Oh, stainless.
The full stainless kit for a TRX4, I bought one for the wife's G-Wagon. I would do it again. Honestly. No hunting, no pecking, no searching.
Yeah.
Every single screw. Are those screws expensive when you look them at a per unit cost based on what it costs to buy it? Yeah. It's probably not going to pass a fundamental, an elementary carbonated beef allowance. That's a Discord joke. But the time it will save you so much faster. You just grab them. You know, those little button head screws that hold the inner portal box bearings in. Where are you going to find those in stainless? Where are you going to find those? The drive pins that go into the drive shafts are stainless steel. It replaces every single fastener on the entire vehicle with stainless steel. It gives you stainless steel lock nuts for the wheels. When Traxxas says a full stainless steel screw set, they mean a full stainless steel screw set. It will replace every single fastener on the vehicle, and I approve of it wholeheartedly. I would do it again. Hopefully I won't have to do it again. I stainless the Zool. Dana the Zool got full stainless, but it's a lot easier to full stainless an Element. There's a lot less little weird fasteners on it. I basically I put one bit on this and one bit on this. I take a screw out, I put a screw in. I take a screw out, I put a screw in. And that's how it goes. And I don't worry about it. I prefer black oxide for most everything, except stuff that's going to get driven in the creek frequently. Those tend to get stainless because the first time something rusts into a screw hole, you'll be like, oh no, I've made a bad decision. Especially with button heads. If you're going to run alloy, you can run alloy in the water. Use cap heads, because then there's a much better chance of you getting them out. And even if they rust up really bad, you can Negisaurus your way out. There's something to grab. If you're going to go in water, it's either stainless button heads or socket caps. And in general, steer mostly clear of the Amazon variety screw boxes. You can get away with some of them, like
they say they're 12.9 hardened.
Like I bought one of these Benefimucks because it's all little buttonhead M2s. Where else are you going to get buttonhead M2s? So this is casually, cautiously recommended. Also, they don't muck it up by giving you a ton of washers. I mean, you get 100 M2.5 nuts. But, I mean, if you're building up a TRX4 to take out in the creek, honestly, it's worth the $40. And I had so much stainless here that look how much was left over. I could do another TRX4. So I can get 2 TRX4s out of that $40.
Oh, but again, how much do you spend on a bumper?
Right. Yeah. There's an easy way to rationalize everything. $40 for a box of screws. You go buy yourself a fancy bumper, you might spend $50 on it. So, justified. $60 on a set of tires? Justified. Traxxas fasteners aren't. Yeah, McMaster is all graded. And when they claim a grade of stainless on their stainless, they mean it. When they say 18.8 or 316, there's no question of what you're getting. You're going to get the higher grade stainless. And when you feel them in your hands, you can tell. And the uniformity of the heads, how tight the driver fits into the hex recess, they are. I agree with Swampers. I prefer the black fastener, but again, if you're driving it in the river, stainless is just going to be more trouble-free for longer. I put stainless on some builds because I think it kind of goes thematically. I do like the little, concave washers with a...
6 minutes.
This will be the last visual aid of the day. But what I was going to say is, like, when you're slapping a build together, that just looks nice. You get the blue concave with the stainless in it. It looks nice. So in that, where the stainless is standing out visually, good. It looks great. You can get real thematic. And these things are pretty cheap. It's like $12 for a bag of 60. And then the next thing you know, you bought 5 different bags of 5 different colors.
You need another bin.
And you need another bin to hold all your little concave washers because you've lost your mind. You feel the McMaster's in your wallet too. My last order of McMaster was $185, and it came in a box about half the size of a shoebox. It was about like what's Amazon's favorite box, the 6x9x4. Think a 6x9x4, $175, and it's worse than that because as you get your scissors out and you cut all the little plastic bags open and dump them into their bins, you feel like you bought nothing. You have nothing to show for what you bought. If you spend $175 on something, there's usually something laying around that you can go, yeah, I spent money on that. But no, it's just all blended in with all of the other screws. But better than trying to build something and not having the screws to build it. Like, rather than hunting and pecking and trying to find all the fasteners that I misplaced,
I just to the Ace and buying them.
Bro, oy. So yeah, I definitely, cost-benefit analysis notwithstanding, I don't hesitate to recommend the Traxxas fastener kit. I have lost my 1.5 millimeter insert.
Is it in the drill?
Found it. It magnetically affixed itself to the OmniFixo. It does say OmniFixo. It OmniFixed it. So we successfully managed to only drop 346 frames. That's pretty good because we dropped 202 of them in like the first 2 minutes and then just smoothed right out. We've been clipping along. It was trouble-free because I've already successfully forgotten about the bump stop thing. And also, oh, I see why it has the bump stops. Yeah, okay. We're gonna have to figure out, as somebody said, we can probably cut off the nubs, drill holes in them, and bolt them in. Bolt/glue them in. Because, yeah, we'll do that. That's what we'll do. Because I did not expect this to have this kind of articulation. That's pretty crazy. Well, I'm completely unfamiliar with this type of one leaf for two axles thing. Inner tube cement. Oh, Cross Keys Crawler's coming in late to ask about thoughts on the Holmes 2-in-1. I kind of covered it where I said I kind of don't get it.
It's in the middle.
It's in the middle of two things. Like if I have a choice of a Fusion SE, or we can say a Fusion Pro, or an Outrunner setup, a Fusion SE is, let's call it $100. Let's call it 90 because that's right in between the two.
58 millimeters long.
You can get at 58 millimeters long, or a Secure Escape 70 combo with a 3625 and a 70 amp ESC. That's also about $85. Call it $90. So $90 for either. And then you got the Holmes at $155. Where is the $65 in? Ooh, that's the stuff.
At 150 millimeters.
At 50 millimeters long. If I want real short, I'm going to get an Outrunner. If I have the room, I'm going to run an SE. And also, they're very different applications. Like, I know what I'm generally going to put an SE in. I know what I'm generally going to put an Outrunner in. I can't think of something where I'd be like, oh, I want to put the Holmes in that. I want to put the 2-in-1. Unless it's just to be like, I want to try that out. Because I have done that. I have bought many a system to try it out. And here's the thing. Are you testing the Holmes 2-in-1? I don't have any plan on buying one. It's not on my short list. Because I have projects that need to be built. And then I have projects that I want to initiate, and the money, like it's $155 for the 2-in-1, and it's $200 for the pair of Mias offset Capra steer axles that I want to buy. So for that extra $40, I'm buying the axles, you know? So it would have to come in at this perfect time. $155 will get you a hard body, will get you a lot of things. Or look at it this way. Buy the SE for $90. Now you have $65 to spend on, well, that'll get you tires. You could get some upgrade RC tires. Which is going to give you better performance? A Holmes 2-in-1 or buying a Fusion SE and a set of tires that scored a 98. So, I think I only have 2 SE after I found the Secure. I'm still buying them both pretty equally. Jerry got banned. He was like, ban me, ban me. I like that it just deletes all of his messages.
That's why I couldn't find the guy.
Yeah. Jerry has been ban-hammered. He did request it specifically. So, and that moves us up into where we almost feel like we're doing it for real, because people on the unhinged Harpus live streams, they ask for the bans all the time. He got banned for 86,000 seconds. That's awesome. 86,000 seconds is his ban term. Which, I mean, we're not live streaming for a week, so. Gentlemen, it is indeed time. Usually, last time I held this up like this, it's at 3:33, so we're 3:31. The best part is that we keep ending these streams within, like, there was a string where we had streams end at 3 hours and 37 minutes, like 3 weeks in a row. They were within 5 seconds of one another. So I thank all of you for being here. I would like to tell you, I've got videos uploaded for about the next 5 days. I would like to tell you what they are. Cabs is on Sunday. And that's the only one I can remember. That's the only one I can remember. There's a video on Saturday, a video on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Not on Friday. Oh, Ed Scrivener, 86,000. He's 86th. He got the ban. Ed wanted it too. Double bans.
Everyone.
Everybody getting banned. So next week we'll come back. We'll do some ridiculous stuff. Crossgeek Crawlers, thank you very much. I will enjoy my coffee, and I will make an effort to not hate doing the dishwasher. I don't mind installing the one. Taking the one out is the part that I'm not going to. The stinky. Getting the stinky Samsung out of the house. And there's no guarantee that you won't see at least parts of the Samsung dishwasher turned into an obstacle. Because that's how I feel about the Samsung dishwasher. The Samsung dishwasher is the red cat of dishwashers. I said it, and I'm standing by it. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to do the thing where we spin one of these and we spin you out. And then I give it a couple seconds to make sure that I give it time to shut down. And I will see you all in all of the usual things. I think I changed cameras one time. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you again. Until next time. We Howdy 5000!